like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Yeah, I need it now, told him on the lay. I've been moving, dog, yeah, I'm on the way. I don't hear the talk, don't care what they say. I don't got no patience, I can't ever wait. I've been trying to get it, running up all these digits. And I've been in the gym, I've been up doing minutes. I just put in that work, told them it's strictly business. And I see through the face, they all just burning bridges. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Yeah, they don't want it, dog, like I want it, dog. Yeah, they say they want it, then they took the summer off. I've been going down the list, checking numbers off. I was checking on your numbers, told them something's off. I was at the bottom, now you know I'm climbing. Now they sending deals, they know I ain't signing. They been trying to sell it, they know I ain't buying. When they send a text, dog, I ain't replying. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it now, I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen and we not a minute late. Seen him down bad, now they tryna hate. Same ones try to hit me for the raise. Got a meal, now they coming with a blaze. Check the numbers, fam, I swear I'm getting paid. I'm a Don just like the Perrier. It's one time when I'm looking at a face. On the low like I'm pushing up the bass. Come down and I'll meet him at a gate. Got a check and I bought myself a place. They get some money and they blow it on bait. I don't flex but I'm pushing all the weight. Told them all I swear I got it's what it takes. Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it now, I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen and we not a minute late.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on a roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On a roll, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And finally, Bitcoin has made a move. More Ethereum making the move, but Bitcoin finally getting that move up to our next key level, guys. If you guys have been watching the live streams from last week, you will know I am holding a long position from the bottom of our range, which we will be going over on today's live stream. But I have been holding that long position, and we were looking to hold that over the weekend for some very, very specific reasons. So I want to go over that with you guys tonight. Take a look at those key levels of support and resistance so you guys know where that next likely high probability trade setup will be. We're going to be breaking down all that price action plus the key levels and the altcoins. And I want to talk about this little pump to the upside, not only on Bitcoin, but obviously on Ethereum. I just pinned a chat to the top of the chat here from Chemistry Bro, saying if anyone hasn't seen yet, the SEC asks exchanges to update 19B-4 filing on the accelerated basis for spot Ethereum ETFs. CoinDesk reports ETF approval incoming ? Which, as you guys know, if you saw our most recent Ethereum update, which was now made quite a while ago, this may be right alongside what we've been looking at on Ethereum and what we've been expecting out of Ethereum in the year of 2024. So we're going to be taking a look at Ethereum, obviously, as well. I want to talk about that pump. What are those next targets to the upside? And shout out to the premium Discord. Hopped out of that live stream and was on my way to a meeting, and I dropped some 5-second speed analysis, last-minute analysis on Ethereum before I hopped into that meeting. And I was basically just like, hey, if you hold above this level, you're probably going to go to the POC of the range. And that POC of the range just happened to be where we shot right up to. But anyway, guys, with all that being said, shout out to the CandleMafia. Thank you guys for all tuning in and hanging out here with us. There's a lot of things you guys could be doing with your time, but you chose to spend it right here and educate yourself on how to make money trading, whether the price is going up or down. And yes, we will be showing the trades as I am still in that long position. We'll go back over that as well. So smash that like button if you guys find any value in this YouTube channel, or if you like puppies or babies, smash that like button because it will also give you some extra chances to win some free crypto on our giveaways that we do every single Friday right here on the Frank Candles YouTube channel. So before we jump into it, guys, let's say what's up to the Mafia. We got Gen Z in the chat. What is going on? We got K Diggity, Coin Watcher. We got Mike Vito, my paisan. What is going on? We got Joanne's. I don't know. We got Joanne in the house. Shout out to you. I think that's what that says. I can't really see it. Shout out to Chemistry Bro. Thank you for dropping that golden information there, bro. I did pin that chat if anybody's interested in checking it out. Jay Violet, what is going on? We got John in the chat. What is going on? He's shouting out Crypto Billy. Shout out to Crypto Billy. Guys, don't miss Crypto Billy's Twitter space, which I may or may not be on tomorrow on X, Billy Goat Tales. Go check it out. And I look forward to doing that tomorrow with you, Billy. Shout out to Crypto Billy, hashtag Givers Gain. We got Pitfrog saying all-time high incoming. We're going to be talking about that next target to the upside on Bitcoin as well, guys. Obviously, we will go over that. And with all that being said, this is about the most price action we've gotten in a long time. So let's not waste any more time and go ahead and jump on into the charts. Let's get into it. So here we are, guys, on the Bitcoin chart. Hang on one second, guys. Hey, Mrs. Candles. Mrs. Candles, it is 100 degrees in here. Mrs. Candles, I don't think she's coming, guys. I'm going to sweat it. But anyway, here we are on the Bitcoin chart, guys. I want to come and zoom out a little bit here. Can you turn up the AC? Why is it so hot in here? Thank you. Shout out to Mrs. Candles. She didn't even show her hand, guys. She just opened the door, and she's off to the AC. And maybe can you turn the... yeah, I'm sorry. She said, there's a Mrs. Candles' hands. All right, you got to show some hand. Show some hand. Come on. Oh, my God. She rejected the hand reveal. Unbelievable, guys. Drop a like on this video if you want Mrs. Candles to come back and show her hand. But anyway, guys, let's go ahead and jump into this price action as we have finally gotten a little bit of a saucy move here as we got this little push to the upside. Now, obviously, guys, I am still in my long position from all the way, not all the way, but all the way down here at about $62,075. I am still holding this position, and as you guys know, all through last week, we were looking at this as a potential continuation to the upside based off of many things. Number one, I'll just go over the simple one, simply due to the fact that we got back over this previous value area low, which we knew was going to be the doorway to potentially reaching a piece of confetti stuck in the fan from Tony D's birthday, I think. But as we continue up here, the next likely place, right? Once we flip that value area low, and if you guys follow along with the channel, you will know there's a very, very simple method for trying to anticipate where price will go next, and it is heavily reliant on these volume profile ranges. And obviously, I did take this long position as we deviated below the low, and I always like to break this down to maybe, just talk to the new people in the chat and just let them know kind of how we trade here. But simply put, we deviated below this range, and this is where we were looking for that long opportunity. As simply as you are deviated below that value area low, you'd be looking at this as an undervalued asset, and then the idea here would be to crack back above that old value area low, and then that would give you a likely move to your point of control. And then once you get above that point of control, which was more specifically the top of this purple box based off this daily NPOC that we had here, which we went over on the live stream on Friday. But once you get above that POC, you are going to expect and anticipate that value area high to come in. And here we are sitting right at our next target, sitting at about $69,567. And what I actually will do here really, really quickly here, if I pull up that premium Discord, just as I, posted here for them yesterday, and this is like not any kind of secret sauce here or anything. I'm not really revealing any of the setups or anything, but I just kind of want to show you guys. This is from this morning at about 11 o'clock, saying, "Hey, yo, what's going on, Mafia? Hope you all touched some grass this weekend." I know I didn't, but pretty boring weekend as Bitcoin just created a mini range. I am still long from the deviation below that value area low with an anticipation of higher levels incoming for very specific reasons, guys, and this confetti just will not stop coming down. But this anticipation for higher prices incoming was based off of some very specific things, not because I felt bullish or I kind of felt like maybe it was time to pump, right? This was based off very, very technical factors on the chart that cannot be disputed, as they are just simply binary numbers popping up. The information is there or it isn't. And this this confetti is really starting to come out. But if we could flip that daily naked point of control, which is actually the level that we gave on the free live stream, but we are fighting. If we get above that daily naked point of control that we're fighting right now, I would be looking upward towards the value area high of the range, sitting at about 69.5. And bada boom, just magically like that, here is Bitcoin after that little jump to the upside, or I guess this is a gigantic jump to the upside compared to our most recent price action, sitting there right at about $69,576 as expected, guys. And I don't show this to show off. I don't show this to say we're right all the time or I'm the only person who is right. But this is all based off very simple things that you guys, the CandleMafia, can literally take from these live streams and apply them to your charts same day or even as you follow along with the live stream, and you could profit and not necessarily profit, but put these into action, put these methods, put these techniques into action in real time for completely free. That is the point of these YouTube live streams, is to provide as much free value as possible. Everything short of just simply giving the trade setups with the confirmations like we do in the premium. But I like to give away as much good, solid, tangible, actionable information on this live stream as I possibly can. And I hope everybody kind of understands that every time we come up here, even through the boring stuff, this is why I always kind of go back to show you guys how we got to where we were, or how we got to where we are by going back and looking at the previous price action, because simply once you understand how you get to where you are, eventually you'll front run that idea and you'll start to come up with anticipations and predictions of your own on where price may go next. And then you can make a educated decision based off your own analysis to finally get in these markets and start making money and stop getting wrecked. So simply put, volume profile at play here. We knew it was very likely to flip that low, go to the POC, flip the POC, and go back up to the high. Very, very simply put. Now, obviously, we are starting to hit some resistance here. But again, understand, guys, the reason it wasn't just the volume profile that was making us anticipate higher prices. It was also, very simply put, the fact that we had this daily change of character, and there actually is a little bit more information here that I actually want to take a look at. But as we take a look at the daily here, guys, you can see we did have that bullish change of character, letting us know that we may be changing into a bullish trend, shifting from bearish to bullish, which is another reason why I was anticipating higher prices. And on Friday's live stream, saying any pulls we got to the downside, I would be more interested in longing a higher low and then looking for the bigger move up based off the higher time frame market structure. And obviously, this is something that you can find on your own. You don't need an indicator for this, but Lux Algo makes it super easy to identify these levels or these changes in character, etc. And this is like very simply put, right, how you could be on the right side of the trend, right? Like, you don't want to be shorting to the floor when you know that you're in a longer-term bullish trend, right? So the fact that we had the market structure flipping bullish on top of the fact that we were inside of our old value area, which we knew would be more likely to go up to the value area high, right? That's two big reasons to anticipate that move up, or at least the continuation. And here we are finally hitting that target. And now the question remains, are we going to finally break out to higher prices and see new all-time highs incoming, or are we going to see higher prices incoming, or are we simply just going to see a pushback up to the high of this range, a bearish confirmation for, I hope this is not the case, guys, and I'm going to talk about why I don't think it's the case, but hopefully this isn't the case. If we get above this level, get bearish confirmations, hopefully we're not just coming up for another full rotation of this volume profile. That would be unbelievably bearish. Granted, we will be making money on the trades, whether it's to the upside or the downside, but it would be absolutely brutal for the content. And with that being said, let me go ahead and pull up our trade here. This is let's pull this up like this. Bada boom. You guys can see here, we are still in this position. I don't think you can see, I think what I'm circling right now is behind my head, but it is a $40,000 position on 10x leverage. Here we are, up 122%, up almost exactly $5,000, and only using $4,000 of my own money. So there you go, right? Just want to update you guys on that. This is the same position that I was in on Friday, and again, there is a reason why we were holding this, looking for higher prices, right? It's not we didn't feel bullish, right? There were very specific things that I just went over: the market structure, the value areas, and not only that, we could take a look at money flow in just a second as well, but many reasons to expect that move to the upside. So let it be known, I think the best way to teach is to show this stuff as it's actually happening. Just please, if you're here and you're learning and you were looking at the live stream on Friday, please remember me saying, right, I'm holding this position for this, and this reason, which I just recapped 5 minutes ago, and here we are at the start of a new trading week, up even more, right? And there's a very, very solid reason for that. So hopefully that teaches some of you guys out there how to hold your winners a little bit longer. But the real question that I know a lot of people are out there wondering, probably most of you guys, is are we going to get that break of the all-time high? Are we finally going to get another big move up? Or is this just going to be a bounce off the value area high and back down to the lows? And I will say this, we are seeing some pretty bullish signs, guys. And I will say this, right? Number one, as you guys know, for the past few weeks, one of the most confusing or I would say one of the biggest mixed signals that we've been seeing here recently, guys, is this money flow on the daily. As we came into the red, we were anticipating a potential fake out on this. And on Friday, we were talking about how, hey, if we are going to get the move up, we need this money flow to continue in the right direction and cross over into the green. And I'm here to tell you guys, here we are, finally getting that money flow crossover back into the green. Now, I'm not going to go over in full exactly what we were looking at here, but if you guys watch the live streams, you will know we were comparing this to the previous cycles back in 2020, talking about how, hey, typically when you're after the halving, right? And if I come on over here to the cycle chart just to kind of identify this for you so you guys can get the exact kind of context that we're looking at, let's go ahead to a higher time frame. Right, and you can see here in 2020, you had the halving, which, by the way, we just had the halving, right? Is this the start of the big move? Oh, I don't know. But, as you had that halving in 2020, right, I'm not going to go over this in full just because we went over it so many times last week. But right after that halving, you don't typically spend much time in the red on your money flow on the daily. As you can see, all you really get are these little fake outs and then back into the green, right? Fake out, back into the green. But you spend most of your time in the green here, which is making us anticipate and hope for the same thing to happen here on the daily in the current price action, right? Because if we are truly in that same area of the market and we are going to see one of those parabolic moves up soon, that daily money flow crossing into the green would be something that we need to see in order for that to happen. And I'm here to tell you that it is beginning to happen here. Now, the one thing I will say that I don't absolutely love about this is that the VWAP is trending to the downside, right? So this is inevitably going to give us a red dot here pretty soon. But again, based off the market structure as well as some of the higher time frame signals that I'm going to go over in a second, we would expect this red dot, as long as this money flow continues up, if we do get the red dot on the daily, it will make us anticipate what? Shout out to Creighton C. Absolutely. It's going to make you anticipate a lackluster move to the upside before finally putting in a higher low and then continuing up to higher prices. So just because we're at that value area high, just because we have bullish market structure, just because we have money flow coming up does not mean that you're just going to go up in a straight line, right? This is why it's so hard to come on the YouTube channel and talk about price action and where I think price is going to go. It's very hard to explain if everybody doesn't understand context, right? Because we could be very bullish here, and then price starts to pull back the next day, and people get very confused, right? They're like, what the heck is going on here? I thought we were bullish. Why are we pulling back? But the understanding of the longer-term structure, right, and the longer-term trends of the market, which would be based off money flow here, they take time to play out, right? And there are ebbs and flows in the market, right? Ebbs and flows in the market, right? So just because you get a pullback doesn't mean that you're flipping bearish, right? And you have to understand that context if you're going to remain on the right side of the market, right? You don't want to be shorting to zero, trying to hold this short down to 50K if you know you're in bullish market structure and you're likely to put in a higher low and continue to the upside, right? And I'm going to talk a little bit about that a little bit later, but for the most part, even if we do get that red dot on the daily, just understand that we are going to have a bit of room here to come down and potentially put in some higher lows before just completely flipping bearish, right? So if we do pull back maybe tomorrow and we don't just continue to yeet to the upside, which again, just based off structure and everything I just went over, especially the daily money flow, until that red dot prints on the daily, we could anticipate, it's going to be more likely than not that we continue to break structure to the upside. So, but understand this does come with pullbacks, right? It doesn't just automatically flip us bearish. But on top of this money flow crossover on the daily, and remember we used the 16 and the 12-hour last week to try to anticipate that and front run that daily time frame, or that daily money flow, I should say. But there is another signal here, guys, that is potentially pointing to higher upside, right? Now, last week we were looking at some very specific things, such as come over to the current price action here. We were looking at some things such as the higher daily time frame green dots printing, right? We had the 3-day, the 4-day, and the 5-day printing those green dots. They did obviously confirm yesterday. And then we have that 6-day green dot now printing. This is kind of what we were hoping would leak into the weekly time frame, right? We were hoping that the money flow crossover into the green here on the 12 and the 16-hour time frame was going to leak into the daily. We got that, right? That happened, right? Check that off the list. Like, that is what we wanted. We weren't completely out of the woods last week as we had the money flow technically still in the red. But we were saying, hey, if we go into the weekend, guys, we really want to see that money flow crossover into the green. We need that crossover. We're almost out of the woods, but we're not quite there yet. And here we are getting that money flow crossover. And we were able to accurately predict that by front running the 12-hour, which coincidentally is now back in the red. But again, if we come up here, it's going to be very, very easy to flip this back into the green. But with that being said, you got the daily money flow crossover into the green. We also have the higher time frame green dots, and we were hoping that these higher time frame green dots, such as the 4-day and the 5-day, would leak into the 6-day and the weekly, and we are seeing just that. So simply put, guys, I'm actually going to go over something I was looking at in the premium with the premium Discord on the premium live stream real quick, just because I think it could help a lot of people. But they are, let's see, bada boom. Hey, shout out to SGT, says, as we are past the POC, yo, this confetti be bullying me right now. I'm about to take out that fan. But anyway, shout out to SGT, said, as we are above the POC, does that mean that the red dot we are likely to pull back to the POC, then up to the value area high? Shout out to SGT. I'm going to go over that in just a second. But one thing I want to point out here, guys, on the weekly green dots, I want you guys to notice where these are printing, right? According or in respect to the price action, right? Last green dot on the weekly that we got was all the way here, right? Back in September of 2023. Green dot on the weekly, right? This wasn't the last one, but one of the previous ones. Green dot on the weekly. Where did this wind up printing? Well, simply put, it wound up printing at the low of this range, right? And what do we usually do, right? And if I pull this as a volume profile, you'll see, right? Very similar to the volume profile, right? So I'm just drawing it with my hands for simplicity's sake, right? You get a big impulse to the upside and you start to consolidate, aka build value, right? You find a fair price here. Price ranges as the sellers and buyers agree upon a price between these two levels, and then we slip that value area low, reclaim it, green dot prints on the weekly, next big leg up to the upside, right? Then what happens? Very similarly to that, we simply start consolidating, right? And we start to range back around. We slip the value area low, reclaim, weekly green dot prints, and we're off to the races, right? And then you get your next big move to the upside. And it's actually pretty funny because this was before we got this move to the upside that I was talking about this on the premium. But you get the next big leg up. And then what do? We simply range around here. Now, are we done ranging is the question. I don't know. I am going to be treating this as a typical volume profile, looking for potential shorts at the high, right? But not necessarily, holding them to zero, right? I understand the structure is bullish, and I understand it's much more likely to put a higher low in and then a bigger move to the upside, right? Just based off the structure. Now, with that being said, look at the green dot. Right? You range around, you slip the value area low, you reclaim the value area low. I know you guys, it's very hard to see this, it's all small, but you guys get I'm trying to show the general idea here. You slip that value area low, reclaim it as support, the green dot on the weekly prints. Are we about to get that next leg up, right? This is kind of the trend that we've been seeing up until this point. Now, it doesn't mean just because this happened in the past, we're guaranteed to see that happen. But this is not just based off an indicator. This is not just saying like, oh, this green dot brought us up this much, so this one must bring us up this much. That's not what we're saying, right? This is just very simply how the market moves, right? You get an impulse to the upside, and then you build value at a higher level. Right? And then you get an impulse to the upside and you build value at a higher level. And when you see price continuing to build value at higher and higher levels, this is very bullish, right? This is very bullish. This is saying that the old fair price compared to this fair price is now cheap, right? Meaning that the value is getting higher over time, which is obvious based off the chart, right? Like obviously the higher the chart goes, the more value, the higher the value. But the fact that you are building in these ranges and continuing to stair step your way up here is bullish in my opinion, right? Not even really in my opinion. That's just like kind of how things work, right? So with that being said, are we going to see this be that kind of catalyst, this green dot on the weekly? Is this going to be the catalyst of that for that big next leg to the upside, especially looking at these previous ranges with the green dots printing, right as you wind up, reclaiming that value area low. And very simply put, guys, we literally reclaim that value area low. I zoom out a bit here. We very simply get back above that value area low. And now we're potentially getting that green dot to confirm. If it does confirm, I do think it could push us a little bit higher. Now, the question is, if we go higher, how much higher can we go? All right, this is probably literally why everybody clicked this video. All right, Frankie, tell me where we're going. So here's the thing. Number one, and just to kind of point this out on a lower time frame, right? Remember, this purple box was the level we had to flip, right? Because you have your POC as your key level, sure. But when you have a daily naked point of control just above you, you kind of want to get above that level as well. So that's why I made this one level, right? And what happens? Come down to a lower time frame. Simply put, you hop above here, flip it to support, and then that's your doorway to that next target, which again was 69.5, which is where we're sitting right now, or 69.6, right? But if we break out here, right, the real question is, what happens if we get out of here? Well, first off, I do want to point out that we do have some key levels above, right? You have a daily level here. Actually, yeah, I mean, you have a bit of confluence up here, right? So you have number one, your daily horizontal sitting at 71,678. This is my next personal target, right? And let me get rid of this, right? Because this is no longer resistance as we reside above it. This daily naked point of control is tapped. So I will go ahead and change this to tapped daily, right? And then I will also get rid of this, although this is still resistance. I do want to, I want to pull up this actual current range right now, because if we pull this to the current price action, obviously our levels will move here. I'm gonna keep it on the old range for now. So yeah, let me come down to the 4 hour. Obviously these levels move. There you go. This is much more intact. So simply put, guys, if we get above the top of this purple box at 70,900, the next key levels are very simply put, the daily level, daily horizontal sitting at 71,678, which again is like kind of my next technical target. And then just above that, your daily naked point of control at 72,591 is going to be your next key level of resistance, right? So even if we do continue pushing up here, let's say we go ahead and we pull back just a little bit, right? Or maybe we just shoot up. Either way, this is kind of going to be a pretty strong level of resistance in my opinion, right? But at that point, if we do wind up climbing above that level, hopping above that daily naked point of control, we don't really have much work to do, because after that daily naked point of control at 72,591, which is the last technical level in my own personal opinion, the next level of resistance is simply going to be the all-time high, right? So this is our current all-time high. Go ahead and label that real quick. Bada boom. right? So once you get above, like this is a simply like not much above us at this point, right? Get above that value area high, sitting at 70,963, right? Get above that, and you have this like nice ladder of resistance, but for the most part, once you get above that daily naked point of control, probably going to come at least take that high. Now, whether we continue off to much higher prices or not will be another whole nother story, right? But we're getting up there, baby. Finally, after going sideways for, even this, right? Like this whole range has been absolutely brutal. We've been going sideways for 82 days, right? This is like creeping up on 3 months of sideways action. All we need is a pop above these levels. We are creeping up on that new all-time high. And, even throughout all this, guys, like this is extremely boring price action. Like even here, like for the past like month, like just sideways, dump, back up, sideways. It's like, this is fine for trading, right? These moves are plenty big to make some money. Plenty of moves to make money. However, when you zoom out here, this gets very, very boring, especially from a content perspective, right? Not the most exciting price action to talk about, but, not only this, we also had the inverse head and shoulders, right, that we've been looking at for quite some time, which, as you guys know, I do not trade based off the inverse head and shoulders or anything like that. But this was somewhat of a sign that you could potentially continue up a bit more as the technical target, right, or the technical breakout target of that head and shoulders was essentially to revisit the highs here. And hopefully, I hope at least somebody out there, is remembering us talking about this during the live streams. Yeah, it brings you right back up to those highs, that technical target, and we are actually starting to see that play out. So that's the next key levels that I am looking at. Again, like in order to really see higher prices incoming, I'd really like to see a flip of that daily naked point of control. Up until then, this is all resistance, guys, right? Now, just like we don't get bearish at support, we do not get mega bullish at resistance, right? We're not bullish because we got the pump, right? We were bullish down here, and now we're just seeing what we were looking for play out, right? But in order for me to, I will be looking for shorts here because I am no longer in my short from the POC, obviously, right? I got stopped out in profit. We talked about that when it happened. But the thought here is you have to treat this, or at least in my opinion, right? I personally, based off my personal trading rules, which yours might be different, but I have to personally, right, look at this as resistance for a potential rejection, whether it's going to be a short-term pullback, right? And I forget who said it, but shout out to whoever said it. Shout out to Dave. Okay, hang on. I'm going to come back to chat in just a second, guys. But, whether we get if we do get a pullback here, whether it is to come back down to put in a higher low and continue breaking structure to the upside, which would be what we would anticipate just based off the change of character on the daily as well as the money flow coming up. But whether it's that or a big nuke down to zero, I have to anticipate some potential resistance in here, right? If I get bearish confirmations to short here, I simply will short it, right? But it's within the context of understanding that when I come up to a higher time frame, we are bullish, right? We have bullish market structure here. And I just pointed that out with the Lux Algo price actions concepts, which just conveniently labels out the market structure for you. But it's not just like short to zero from here. We have to understand the context of the market, which is obviously bullish, right? You have a low, high, higher low, higher high, right? Could we put in a higher low and another higher high? Definitely possible. But you have to imagine everybody getting so bearish on that pullback. What the heck? I thought we were bullish. Why are we going down, right? But you have to understand the ebbs and flows of the market, right? And this is what Market Cypher and Lux Algo and looking at market structure and the volume profiles can help you filter out. It can help you understand if you are going to take a short while you're long, you have to understand the context of that. Are you looking to hold that for a long time? Are you looking to just jump in, grab your bag, and jump out? Because there is a difference, right? But simply put here, guys, looking at this volume profile, wouldn't be surprised if we get some kind of pullback here. Not only are we hitting just into our next key level of resistance, which is where we look for shorts at the value area high, but we also have some potential reasons to look for a pullback, right? We are now setting up for somewhat of a bearish divergence here on the 4-hour time frame, which I do take these pretty seriously. Typically 4-hour and up. Divergences on the 4-hour and up, especially if money flow is cohesive, it could be pretty powerful. But money flow is coming up here, so I wouldn't be expecting that to go to zero. But you do have higher highs forming as your momentum continues out. VWAP rolling over here. Take a look at some of these lower time frames. 2-hour red dot looking to print. And then you come on over here to the lower time frames, like kind of micro time frames here. The 5-minute money flow is starting to come out. But this would not make me anticipate a gigantic dump, right? This would just make me anticipate a potential scalp short, right, to journey back down to some of these levels to put in higher lows and continue to the upside, which obviously this fib has moved up a bit. I will get rid of this level as well, as it has changed, right? So if we pull our fib here, from the, even this would be a valid fib. So, shout out to, I forget who asked for it. But yeah, I forget who asked for it, but anyone, whoever was talking about, as we're at the value area high or above the POC, can we expect a pullback to that POC? I will say this. Now that we are above that point of control, this is kind of a very important level of support, right? That POC turns into key support once you flip it, because as you guys know, I don't really take trades in the middle of a range. However, if you are able to have a reason, right? If there is a reason to look for a long here, I will, right? So if, for example, this is not really the case, to be honest with you, but like right here, I took this short from the POC, but this was not just me blindly shorting the POC. There was a reason for me to take a short here, right? And one of those reasons was the fact that if you pulled your fib from this impulse to the low, we had perfect confluence on that POC and this local golden pocket. And I know that as we had money flow coming out on the higher time frames here, right? Take a look here. Money flow was coming out and crossed over into the red. Once we got that crossover up here, I'm anticipating a downtrend to continue, right? So I knew that even if we got a bounce here, it was because of money flow being in the red, I knew it was likely going to be a lackluster pump to the upside before putting in a lower high and then breaking structure to the downside, which happened right here, right? So there are reasons to take shorts or trades at the middle of a range, but I just need a specific reason. So if we are going to continue this move to the upside, I will say, right, if we do pull back, that POC will be key support, right? And we could potentially get the bounce from there, because we talk about this all the time. Before you break out of these volume profiles, sometimes you do go back and test that POC one more time, and then a lot of times that big move happens right off that POC. So that is going to be key support. You also have a local golden pocket confluence here, and that box is coming in between $66,998, almost $67,000 even, all the way down to $66,593. Right, so that's going to be kind of a key zone to potentially look for a higher low to come in at if we do wind up coming down. I'd really like to see a bounce off that POC. And then at that point, once you start losing that POC, right, hopefully we can get some confirmation up here to look for a short. But then once you start losing that POC 786, once you start losing this zone, remember, volume profiles, right? Where's price likely to go? If we can't get back above that POC, we're probably going right back down to the value area low, which in my opinion still could be a place to put in a higher low, right? And continue the upside in the longer term, right? So short-term pullbacks, not impossible as we hit this key level of resistance. But if we do pull back, watch that POC. This tap daily level at 68K may not be a bad level to watch either. But then once we start losing this zone in general, I'm looking at this as the middle of the range, right? Or the POC. So once we start losing that level, it's going to be much more likely to come down to the value area low, just based off the way that the volume profiles behave, right? When you get from the high, you reject back down to the POC. That's the next likely place for price to go. Once you break down below the POC, next likely place for price to go. Exactly. Shout out to Creighton C. Going to be that value area low, and vice versa, right? So using this as our roadmap, and baby, it has paid out pretty good so far. There's that trade number up 5K, 123%. And real quick, I'm going to get back to chat here in just a second. Shout out to Jason Casper dropping the super chat. I'm going to get to that in a second. But real quick, I know a lot of people are having trouble. I just see a lot of people talking in the chat, talking about how they can't get into certain exchanges based off of new KYC requirements. If you guys are having trouble with KYC, or anything like that, we are having a lot of luck, or a lot of people are having luck with Blowfin. This is an account, not an account, but this is an exchange that we have used in the past. I have used from time and time again. I can only use so many exchanges, but apparently people are having a much easier time with Blowfin. I've used Blowfin a bunch. I like Blowfin. I'm going to continue to use it because I'm very likely to run into very similar problems that you guys do. But if you guys want to check this out, I think Tony D has a link if you guys want to sign up and check it out. And if you are having trouble signing popping up for places. Apparently, this one is giving a lot of people a lot less issues, and I have not had any issues with it just yet. So I probably will just naturally wind up using this a bit more just because it's easier. But anyway, there you go. Shout out to Tony D. I could go ahead and pin that to the top of the chat. But let's go ahead and check in on chat really, really quickly. Shout out to Jason. Says bullish signals revealed equals Frankie Candle's calf reveal. All right, I got socks on. This is G-rated enough. Shout out to Jason. This one's for you, brother. This one's for you. We're going to show the socks, baby. Here we go. Frankie Candle's bullish signal revealed. Here it is, guys. We got a double green calf printing on the weekly and the monthly. Let's go. Oh, yeah, that was a nice contact. That was a nice contact with the calf, baby. Let's go. Shout out to Jason. Bro, thank you for dropping that super chat, and thank you for hanging out with us here. Let me know. Jason, what do you think is going to happen? Are we going to break the highs, or you think we're just kind of in the midst? I actually thought about this the other day. I was talking to Tony, and I'm trying to just talk to him about what I think is going to happen. And I was like, Jason was in the chat. I was like, I got to DM him because I always ask him. Like, I always ask people when they come in here, hey, bro, what do you think? Let me know. And then I always miss the chats. So shout out to Jason, bro. If you're still in here, let me know what you think. Are we going to break those highs, or you think we're just going to skirt back around on a deviation and head back down to the lows of the range? Let me know, and I will actually try to read it because I'm curious. But anyway, shout out to Jason, bro. Thank you so much for that super chat, bro. You're the man. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Let me just check. I think I missed a couple other supers. Shout out to Local 11. Thank you for that super chat, bro. He says, he says he's not right all the time, then he's right 99% of the time. Yo, shout out to Local 11. I appreciate that. I would rather that come out of a Mafia member's mouth than my mouth. But please understand, guys, even when we're right? Like no one is right 100% of the time. Like nobody. There's not anyone on earth that knows 100% what price is going to do. And I think I say this enough on the live stream for you guys to understand that. Nobody knows where this thing is going. Ask any real trader, and they will tell you, I don't know. I got a plan whether it goes up or down. I want to make money either way. But nobody knows for 100%. But we do get it right more often than we don't. Shout out to Local 11. And we also got the clapper of cheeks. I appreciate you, brother. I don't know what that means. I think I know what that means. I don't want to start a ruckus here. But shout out to the clapper of cheeks. Shout out to clapper of cheeks. Every like equals one FJB. If you guys don't know what FJB means, it stands for Frank just burped. This goes back to an old live stream. But I didn't burp, Clapper. I did not burp. Shout out to you, brother. And Jason with another super chat. Shout out to you, bro. He said the 4-day says it all, in my opinion. Shout out to Jason Casper. Let's see. Thick boy money flow. Nice little trigger wave, too. With an oversold anchor wave. Woo, baby. I think that does look good. Money flow ticks back up. Shout out to Jason. We shall see. Hopefully it doesn't dump. If it dumps, I'm not gonna get wrecked, but I will lose a lot of my unrealized profit. That is for sure. Pray for my long, baby. Pray for my long. But anyway, let's continue on. Thank you guys for the super chats. I appreciate you. And let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Shout out to Stupid Bitcoin said, DFV, Deep Frankie Value. Let's go. You guys are funny. All right, let's go ahead and continue on, guys. That is basically what I'm looking at on Bitcoin. That is my plan, guys. That is my plan. Just simply following according to our plan based off the volume profiles and obviously other key levels. But that's kind of what I'm looking at. I would not be surprised if we get a short-term pullback, but with the way these higher time frames look, again, I would anticipate, even if we pull back, for it to be a lackluster pullback to put in a higher low and then continue to the upside. So there you go. All right, let's go ahead and continue on. If you guys want to see any of your favorite altcoins, and if you just popped in and you're looking for Bitcoin, just scrub back. This whole 44 minutes was about Bitcoin and every little nitty-gritty detail that I can think of. And if you want to see your favorite altcoins, go ahead and spam them in the chat right now. And Rob the Crypto Stop will count up the votes and let us know what we are looking at. And hang on. Shout out to Dave Digital. Dave, you asked me, you put a good chat in here. But it spammed up. Please send it again. Something about a Matic. Something about Matic. And obviously, we'll just throw Matic in there for you, Dave. But let me know. You asked a question about it. I'd like to answer it for you. But now, while you guys are doing that, let's go ahead and take a quick look at Ethereum, or Erythrium, as your grandmother might call it. And finally, guys, we are out of our nasty sideways range that was super boring for 2 months. Please, for the love of God, I hope we see more moves like this. Excuse me. I just ate a bunch of pizza, guys. I'm sorry. Tony D made homemade pizza, and I couldn't help myself. But anyway, hopefully we don't see this sideways action anymore, guys. Like, this has been absolutely boring. It's been nice for the trades, right? I haven't been trading Ethereum, but like moves like this are nice for the trades. Not good for the content, right? So with that being said, here we are all the way back up to 36.90 we pumped today. So not too shabby, but I just want to point some things out here, guys, because I think this is like the most tangible value that I can give you right now. Because number one, the fixed range volume profile is a free tool on TradingView, right? And if it's not, if you don't have, if for some reason you can't get it for free, you can use my free Lux Algo indicator. Type in my name to TradingView, Frankie Candles Essentials, buy Lux Algo. It's 100% free, no strings attached. Just click it and use it, no questions asked, right? But I think this can help most people, or help a lot of people understand things, right? Because it's like, I'm not long on ETH, right? Because I typically trade Bitcoin for the most part, right? But if I were trading Ethereum, I could tell you right now, just based off my strategy, I would almost certainly be long from either below the value area or from this retest on this blue zone that we looked at on the live stream, right? I gave the key levels and the kind of the trading plan on the live stream, but I just didn't trade it myself, right? Again, I trade mostly Bitcoin. Trust me, I have a very, very hard time picking what to trade because you start looking at charts. It's like if I had it my way, I'd have 100 trades open, but that turns into a mess very quickly. But simply put, it's very similar to why I was long on Bitcoin. We deviated below the value area low. This is very, very important, guys. If you're learning how to make money trading, right? Not jump in and get wrecked or jump in and just like consistently lose. But this is like one of the biggest game changers for me in trading was understanding the volume profiles because it gave me context into whether I should be looking to long or short. And simply put, when you deviate below that value area low, this is considered an undervalued price for Bitcoin, right? That's why this is called the value area, because this is the fair value, right? This is the value area. This is the agreed upon price from buyers and sellers that the fair price for Bitcoin is within these two levels, right? Within the range. And then eventually, you're going to wind up getting the breakout. But when you deviate below the low, this is not where we get overly bearish, but the opposite. We actually start looking for longs. And you can see we put in bullish divergences as you deviated below the range, which is a bullish signal to potentially look for a reversal. Now, if you didn't want to trade on the deviation, if it scares you to get into a trade right when you have when you're right below resistance, right? Because this might seem counterproductive. It's like we broke support. Why are you looking for longs? Wouldn't you be looking for a loss of that level? No. This is what everybody else looks for, and that's why everybody else gets wrecked, right? Not everybody else. Lots of people make money trading. I don't want to make it seem like we're the only people making money. But most people, statistically, trade like that and lose their money, right? But not us. We look at this as an opportunity to buy cheap Bitcoin, and then if you're too nervous to enter the trade below resistance, what you can do is take the safer route and wait for the breakout into the value area, but don't FOMO in. Wait for the retracement. This requires patience, which not a lot of traders have. Wait for the pullback and wait for the stick of support on the value area low. Now, instead of longing down here and anticipating to get above all this resistance, you can just wait for it to pop up. And then not only are you flipping that value area low to support, which is obviously what's going to make you anticipate the POC and eventually the value area high to come in, but you're also putting in a higher low and you've changed character, right? You break character. Right? If I pull up Lux Algo real quick, shout out to Lux Algo. If you guys want to sign up for Lux Algo and check out any of their premium indicators, you can check the link in the description down below. They do 30-day money-back guarantee, and it's just straight sauce. I'm going to show you exactly why right now. But what happens here, right? I'm going to take off the smart trail. You have a bullish change of character, right? You change character, and then you get a pullback, right? If this pullback, you're on this pullback because of the bullish change of character, you are looking for a long entry. This is how you can, again, try to stay on the right side of the market, right? I'm not looking for a giga short here. I would rather wait for the pullback. Whether you short it or not for the extra money is up to you, right? But I would, instead of shorting this, I would rather just let it fall and then get in on the right side of the trend, right? And enter in on a higher low. How do you know if you should enter in on this higher low? It's very, very, very simple, right? You don't have to overcomplicate it. You can if you want. I'm not saying overcomplicating it. You know, if you overcomplicate it, you will be looking at more information, which could be beneficial or not. But let me go ahead and hide all this stuff, right? I'm actually just going to start a fresh chart here, right? Let me just see what we're here. Okay, so we're on the 4 hour, right? Let's go to the 4 hour. I want to show you the exact same thing. I just wanted a clean chart to show you, right? Pull up Lux Algo, and here you are, right? You have the change of character, and at this point, you are looking, right, hang on. Is this what we're looking at? Or are we looking at, hang on. Hang on. Bear with me. I want to make sure I'm looking at the right thing here. Okay, boom. Change of character, higher low. Okay. I think this is why. Bear with me. Come on. Update. Update. Did it not update? Okay, well, I'll just explain it on here. So you get the bullish change of character, and now this is where you're looking for the higher low to come in. Where are you looking for the higher low? Simply put, if you don't have the Lux Algo Smart Trail, look at your Fibonacci, right? Pull from the low. Oh, and I'm going to clear this up so you guys can actually see what you're looking at. Come on. Okay. Get rid of this, get rid of that, get rid of this, get rid of that, get rid of this, get rid of that, right? So simply put, you bullish change of character. Now you're waiting for a retracement into a level that you know is a likely higher low to come in. Where does that come in? I give it away for free. Typically, it comes in at the golden pocket or 786 retracement. Change of character. Now you wait for the pullback. Where's the pullback come in, though? Pull your fib. Now you have this long zone sitting here that you can wait for price to pull back into. Once price pulls into this zone, that is where you're looking to take an entry, right? And then you look for the continuation of the bullish trend. Why are you expecting higher prices? Because the bullish change of character here, right? Just statistically, this is not just like some calculation that the indicator does, right? This is market structure. You can't fight this. This is actually the market structure. So for that reason, that's why you'd be looking for a long here. And that's why I say if I were trading ETH at the time, I would 100% be long at this level, right? Because number one, you can look for the higher low, right? And where else is that higher low being put in at? Not only is it being put in on that golden pocket, but also you have confluence of that value area low sitting right there, amongst other stuff, I'm sure, right? And that is where you could get the safer entry, right? So again, instead of entering down here, if it scares you to enter down here and fight through all this resistance, you could simply wait for the break of the level and then enter in on a retest. That way, at least when you're entering here, you're kind of safe above support, right? We all know it's not really, you're never 100% safe, but that is basically kind of what I would look for that entry, right? So very simply put, that's why I would be long from this level, and that's why the volume profiles can be so helpful, right? Because you know you know that the next likely place to go is the POC and the value area high. So hopefully that helps somebody else out there. It helps you kind of understand how the volume profiles work and how you can enter in on a higher low. But simply put here, we finally got back up to that value area high, which was kind of our target, and we just ripped right through it, which is beautiful. Always better to rip through resistance when you're anticipating higher prices than breaking support when you're anticipating higher prices. So simply put, guys, we got this nice move. Now, shout out to Kembro. I don't have the, shout out to Crypto Face in the chat. What is going on, brother? Good to see you in here. Face. That money flow, though. That money flow. Let's go. Daily money flow crossing back into the green. Crypto Phase, I got to ask you, brother. How do you feel about this? You think this is real? Do you think this is a real crossover into the green and this was a fake out? I think so. I'm hoping so. But I'd love to know what the actual GOAT thinks. Shout out to Crypto Face. Thank you for being here, bro. I appreciate you. But let's go ahead and continue on here. That's kind of what I'd be looking at least on why I would be long on Ethereum. And then just hopefully hopefully someone takes this home and says, hopefully I can get somebody into a good position by just understanding that process, right, with the market structure. And if you guys are interested in Lux Algo to see that market structure automatically labeled for you, link in the description down below. And shout out to Lux Algo. Thank you for sponsoring the channel. But as of right now, I mean, simply put here, guys, we actually hid a lot of our, let me go ahead and put this in a folder, hide it. And let me actually, I don't know how much I'm going to show here, guys, but let me just pop up the rest of this TA, right? Because I know we have a lot sitting here. So let me go ahead and clean some of this stuff up because this is an absolute mess. So let me clear this up. I'm actually going to get rid of some of this. Yeah. All right. So get rid of that. Get rid of this, get rid of that, get rid of this. Bear with me, guys. Get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of this. Get rid of that. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, your next key level of resistance is going to be on this previous value area low, sitting right here at 37.47. And if we scoop back, if you guys are wondering where that is actually coming from, very simply put, it's coming from a volume profile pulled from all the way back here from the top of the bull run, right? There's the actual profile. So obviously, last time we broke out into this range, we beautifully rejected that POC, right? Nothing just rejects randomly, right? There's no imaginary levels. This is definitely a rejection off that previous naked point of control. So if we do continue up here, right, like let's just assume that this was a legitimate bullish move and we're going to remain above this value area high. Next key level of resistance, not even in my opinion, but just in general, is going to be sitting at the macro value area low. Sitting right here. Change this. Label it value area low. Let's see. But yeah, this value area low at 37.44, right? This, in my opinion, is the next doorway to higher prices, right? This is, I usually label this DW doorway to HP, the doorway to higher prices, because we know, just like, put this in a folder as well, right? Just like we know once you deviate below this local range low that we could look for a POC and value area high to get hit. We can all, you have this value area high right here, right, which we're almost into already. So technically that is your next level of resistance, sitting at about $3,700, which is kind of obvious. But if we hide that, right, just like when you slip this low, you're looking to go to the POC and value area high, right? What did you have to do? You had to get above that value area low and flip it to support, and that opened up the door to the value area high and beyond. So using that same exact technique, we can look at that previous value area low sitting right here, right? So if you wind up getting above this level and flipping it to support, again, just like you did right here, right? Just like you did on any value area you've ever traded, right? You got to get above that value area low, flip it to support. That opens the door to the value area high and maybe beyond. Just like that, we are going to be looking for a flip at this level into support. And what will that do? That will open up the door to the POC and the value area high and potentially beyond. And that is what I'd be looking at on Ethereum. Money flow crossover on the daily actually looks a little bit more legitimate, in my opinion, or more developed than on Bitcoin. VWAP getting a nice little bounce on the zero line, not on the zero line, but getting a little reversal back to the upside here. It was coming down. Now it's coming right back up, making a higher high. It's obviously bullish and not untypical to see on big moves up like that, to just yeet back to the upside with the VWAP. But that is what I'd look at, right? Key level of resistance, 37.48. That is not only a key level of resistance, but we now know that if you flip it to support, we know kind of that next trajectory that price is likely to take, right? It's the same exact thing as any other volume profile that you would ever look at, right? Just in a grander context. So, with all that being said, let's go ahead and continue on. Shout out to Good Eggs NFT said, Jason, Casper, and CryptoFace are good eggs, all the goats. And then Tony D said, we got a lot of goats out here. Absolutely. And yeah, shout out to Face and Casper. I mean, these are some of the best in the game, right? I don't think anybody would be doing what we're doing, to be honest with you, if it wasn't for CryptoFace. So shout out to CryptoFace. I know he is... he's been a big inspiration for me. Absolutely. And shout out to Jason Casper as well. Coin Watcher said, big crypto vote in Congress Wednesday may wreck the shorts, then the longs on Wednesday. Just keep an eye out on Wednesday. Shout out to Coin Watcher. Let's go. Drop in some sauce of your own in the chat here. I love that. Volatility is likely incoming here. And Chemistry Bro said BTC ETF approval causes 25 to 70K. Maybe ETH goes from 3 to 7K on approval. Should we do some like fun super FOMO math here? Let's see. Should we look at our next major target on Ethereum to the upside? ETH could hit this level. Maybe I'll do a pre-record. I'll do like a long-term Ethereum update maybe tomorrow, and we'll take a look at some higher levels. Yeah. All right. But yeah. I wouldn't hate 3K to 7K. I wouldn't be super unpredictable. I wouldn't be like super unrealistic in my opinion. But let's see. Let's continue on. Yeah, shout out to Shunzin says, guys, just put a stop loss in case on ETH. I would have to second that. Please, for the love of God, use a stop loss. But let's go ahead and continue on. Yeah, and shout out to Harry. I love it. Don't long ETH. Wait for a retracement to be safe. Peace. Shout out to Harry. Have to agree with you. Now, the question might be, excuse me, where can that retracement come in? Or where would the high likelihood reversal or higher lows come in? And for me, right, let me pull up a clean chart here. Pull up that Ethereum chart here. And, oh, wow, this is not empty. Interesting. I will just remove that. But, yeah, if you are going to get a higher low to come in here on ETH, if you pull this grander chart, yeah, interesting. But, yeah, if we do wind up coming down here and putting in a higher low on Ethereum, I'll be honest with you guys. Let me just pull some, let me just pull it from this impulse to the high. And then pull our volume profile. So these will be some legitimate, not legitimate, but some good levels for me to watch, not for you to watch. Or this is not financial advice, guys. Not financial advice. But simply put here, right? You have your volume profile. This is the volume profile we obviously just broke out of. But if we do pull back now, I don't know if you're going to wind up getting the full fill of this gap here, which obviously if you pull the VPVR and just look at the local price action, come on, there you go. Obviously you have a massive gap here, right? So I don't know if you're going to come all the way back down here, but these are definitely going to be levels to watch, or this would definitely at least be a key level. Again, not saying we're going to get down there, but if we do, it's going to be very important because it's our value area low of the previous range, and we all know that not only if you fall into this gap, right, if we do fall into this gap, not only could you get a very quick move down, but the next major support level, right, we may want to come back down and test that value area low. Again, we are pretty far above that, so no guarantees we get down there, but these would definitely be like two significant levels of support if like some random dump happens. Like you would really want to hold above these levels, right? Because it's just like we broke out of the range. You want to see these highs flip to support, right? Now, if we come down to a lower level, this happened very quickly. So kind of the hard thing here, guys, when you get a big move up or a fast move up like this, there's no support being built on the way up, right? So this puts you at risk, right? Because if you start pulling back, right, especially if a lot of people are FOMO long here, they're going to leave their liquidity down below. And then once you get back down into this, could cause a fast fill of that or a fast liquidation of all these longs coming in, which could cause a very big quick move to the downside. So you have to be aware of that. But, that's kind of the struggle with getting big moves up like that. So really, ideally, if you don't want to pull back down to these levels, you've got to start building up a range here, in which case we can use for context to look for longs at the low of that range. If you are not in a long position yet, you could use that volume profile as context into where to look for the longs. So there you go. But other than that, it's like, you could pull, like, you can even see here, even on the 15-minute, there's like barely any structure being built here. It's just a straight line to the upside, meaning big gaps in volume, right? Meaning big gap in volume, right? Like even deeper, right? Like your gap in volume is going to be like this. So you break down into here, you could get those quick moves down, in which case between 32.91 and 31.84 are going to be absolutely key to hold, right? More specifically, the 786. You lose that 786, probably going lower, right? Because you're getting accepted into your old range, right, down here. So you want to be above this range, ideally on that golden pocket. Now, with that being said, we also have this other little mini kind of range sitting right here on Ethereum, right, which we are now hitting the value area low. So these are kind of the two value areas I would break Ethereum down into, in my own personal opinion, right? If you don't use volume profiles, you probably won't look at this, but that's okay. There are many ways to make money trading, and I will never sit up here and say my way is the only way, because it's just simply not true. So now you guys can kind of understand where we're at, right? We've broken out of this range, and now we are back up in this range, right? So simply put, if we do pull, I mean, yeah, it's very hard because we don't have any structure built, but this POC at 35.24, it would be just use this volume profile as context, right? Get rejection here, lose this POC. You could also look at this value area low as an area to look for a long, but very kind of hard to call because there's not a lot of structure here. It's just one big green candle. So yeah, there you go. Those are some levels, if you guys want to screenshot them, of what I will be looking for. But there we go. All right, let's see. Yeah, shout out to Chemistry Bro says, yep, that's the middle range I meant. Value area low around 33.50. Shout out to Chemistry Bro. Absolutely, right here. Yeah, if we come back down into there. I mean, this is speculative, right? This is very unlikely to happen. But if you did wind up getting down to that POC, and then you lose the POC and come down to the value area low, and then you get a little deviation, tap on that golden pocket, reclaim, that might be the next big move. So that's what I'm looking at. Just some ideas on Ethereum, some key levels, but there you go. Okay, shout out to Rob the Crypto Stomp said, pin my next comment. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Stomp. I absolutely will. Shout out to Golden. Oh, wait, hang on a second. Yo, Golden gifted 50. Oh, my God. 90 memberships. Shout out to Golden. Let's go. Unbelievable. Golden, I didn't even know that you were doing this. Shout out to Golden for gifting those memberships. And shout out to everybody who just got a Frankie Candles membership. If you did just get one, please, for the love of God, go ahead and drop that golden emoji and start that golden waterfall in the chat for our boy Golden. Thank you so much for gifting those Golden. I know the Mafia appreciates you, and you know I do too. Shout out to you, brother. And shout out to Tom Crown in the chat. What is going on, Crown? We got the whole crew here. We got the crypto trading crew in the chat. Let's go. Shout out to Tom. Hope you're doing well this week, brother. What do you think? Let me know. Let me know in the chat what you think price is going to do. Are we going to break out to all-time highs, or is this just a fake out before the nuke down to zero? Shout out to Tom Crown. I think we're going up. Hopefully. Before maybe a short-term pullback, then another move up. That's my thought. But let's see. Yo, look at the golden emojis. Let's go. Shout out to J. John says, am I lucky today? Shout out to J. John. You may have to change your YouTube settings to accept YouTube membership gifts. If you don't have that setting turned on, you cannot win a membership. But let's go ahead and continue on. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. Hang on. Shout out to Crypto Billy. What is going on, brother? Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Where is it? Looking for Rob the Crypto Snob's chat. It was like, he's like, pin my next chat, and then everybody started spamming. I got it, Rob. Let's go. Let's move on to the altcoins here, guys, and I'll be honest with you. Oh, yeah, let's go ahead and take a look. I think we'll have enough time. And then check out the poll as well, guys. What will we see first? 750 likes on tonight's stream. ETH ETF approval. XRP to $3 or GTA 6. Guys, GTA 6 is never coming. My cousin works at Rockstar, and he said they're just not making it. They're just it's the biggest troll on the internet. I'm just kidding. I don't know anybody at Rockstar. I'm sure it's coming, but not soon. But anyway, shout out to GTA 6. But let's go ahead, and I think 750 likes on the live stream. If we get 1,000 likes on tonight's live stream, I'll give away $150 XRP tonight to one person. I mean, obviously not everybody, right? Like, I think that's clear. But that would be pretty wild. GTA 6 release window is fall 2025. Shout out to Kembro. Let's go. I can wait. I've waited 10 years already, so I don't mind that. At least there's light at the end of the tunnel. They announced that last week. Shout out to Chemistry Bro. I did not know that. So shout out to GTA 6 coming fall 2025. Let's go. Which this whole YouTube channel will then shift to a GTA 6 YouTube channel, and only the crypto mechanics within that game, which I think they will have. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue on. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Okay. Shout out to Istaphobic. Shout out to you. Say, can we take a look at DOT? Yes, we can. Okay, let's continue on. Bada boom. Let's take, I guess we'll start off with DOT. It's last on the list, but it's about to be first on the list. I don't know. Let's see. Bada boom. Not DTO. We need DOT. Actually, here we go. All right. So here we are on Polkadot. Hang on. Where's Adam at? Not Adam the person. We need Adam. Yeah, here we go. Like almost I don't want to say a no-brainer, right? Because like no-brainer is kind of, I never like to say something is like obvious or like that's a no-brainer long, because there's never going to be a point. At least I've never gotten to a point, right? And I don't think anyone who really trades is ever at that point where it's just like, oh, this is easy. My whole account on 100x leverage, I'll make $1 million, right? So I don't like saying like no-brainer long, because there really is no such thing in my opinion. Every trade you take is going to have a failure possibility, right? Like any trade you take it's never going to be, and I think that's what people chase in trading a lot. They chase that, I want to see the green light and know when to put all my money in. It's never going to be like that. Like you're chasing something that doesn't exist, right? And I think that's what a lot of people chase. So that's why I don't like saying like a no-brainer long, because it's always going to be like, oh yeah, but if this happens, it might just go against me. And that will always be the case. That will never not be a fact. But as we bing-bonged around here at the bottom of the range, right? When was this? This was on, what are we looking at? Oh, this is the 6 hour. Let's go to the daily. Yeah, so as we were bing-bonging at the bottom of this range last week, we got the move back to the value area high, move to the POC, and now are we going to see the bigger move up? I don't know, but like I said, when you get down to these lows, guys, it's not very likely that we're just going to nuke down to zero. But anyway, we'll come back to that in a minute. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at DOT. Pull our range. Bada boom, bada bing. That's actually not the range I want to look at. Yeah, so for the most part, right, I'm looking at DOT in the longer term. I'm actually going to look at, excuse me. Yeah, let's look at DOT in the longer term here. Pull up the daily. And this is kind of what we were looking at last week, right? We got to move down to the POC. And now we're dancing on top of that POC, right? Like if we hold this POC, value area high is going to be very likely. And like we always say, right? I think we talked about this last week. Not a guarantee, but you get the break out of the range. But sometimes once you break out of that range, you like to come back down, test that POC before the big breakout, right? I don't know why. Sometimes that happens, right? Like that's a lot of times what we see happen, right? And a lot of times it shows itself in the form of like a massive wick, right? Like a lot of times you'll see, right? Price comes up, consolidation, right? And then you get another move up, consolidation. And then sometimes, like a lot of times, you'll see this if you backtest it. Value area, POC, POC, right? A lot of times, price will just go, right? And it'll just wick down to that POC. We saw this happen on things like Link and ICP. Also had some pretty obvious examples of this. I wish I could tell you exactly why that happens. But I don't necessarily know in every case. Hang on one second, guys. I don't know if you guys can hear this, but I'm like literally gasping for air. Bear with me 1 second. We're gonna call Mrs. Candles. Should I put it on speaker? Please don't say anything weird. 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 I'm scared, guys. Please don't say anything weird. Please answer me. Come on, Mrs. Candles. We got altcoins to look at. Oh, hey, Mrs. Candles. Can you bring me some lungs, please? Shout out to Mrs. Candles. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue on, right? So on Polkadot, obviously we were looking at this as our shorter term range with our highs being respected, lows being respected, deviation from the high, back to the POC, back to the low, deviation from the low, back to the POC, back to the high, deviation. Oh my God, Mrs. Candles just firing at will. Yo, wait, Mrs. Candles, you're not going to show your hand. Mrs. Candles mad at me? Mrs. Candles, what did I do? What? Oh, sorry. She's not mad, guys. She's just busy. Okay. I'm sorry. Mrs. I didn't do a hot shot now. Unbelievable. She gets a manicure and a new hand modeling job. All of a sudden, she's a hot shot. Anyway, I don't know what this is, guys. I think it's, it's just scented air. Anyway, obviously, we have this range. And, like, this is a beautiful range just to show you guys kind of how the volume profiles work. Deviation, back to the POC, back to the low. Deviation, back to the POC, back to the high. Deviation, back to the POC, back to the low, right? And obviously, we front ran the low there a little bit. But simply put, like, this is how we trade the volume profiles. We don't have to overcomplicate it, right? And even if you have, like, some wonky higher term price action, we still have this local price action to be able to, like, trade intraday, right? So with that being said, in the grander scheme of things, if we sustain this breakout, next key level is very clearly going to be that value area high, sitting at 864, right? Very beautiful, very clean, very nice. That is basically, I don't want to overcomplicate this, right? Money flow, somewhat headed in the right direction. Green dot printing on the 8 hour. Let's check that lower time frame money flow. I mean, do not sleep. Shout out to Market Cypher. This is probably the simplest strategy. I did not invent this strategy. This is probably the simplest strategy. I don't really know who invented this. I think I got this from CryptoFace. I assume he invented it. But this is like could be the simplest trading strategy for beginners. Like, I don't know if it gets simpler than this. And like I think people think if it's simple, it doesn't work, but that is not the case. I think a lot of people overcomplicate things, and this causes bad results in their trading. So here you are, 8-hour green dot printing. When you see this green dot, my instant instinct is to go down to that 30-minute time frame. And I teach this a little bit more in the premium Discord, like the nuances of it. Once I see that green dot on the 8-hour, I am instantly going down to the lower time frames, specifically the 24 and 30-minute. If I see money flow on that 24 and 30-minute are coming up, looking to cross over into the green, I am anticipating a move up on that crossover into the green. Let me bring this back in time to show you guys how this works. I show this like, if you watch these live streams, you're going to be like, oh, I know this strategy. But if you are new, this is one of the easiest, simplest trading strategies that, like, to be honest, you're basically trading market cipher B. You're not trading price action at all. Right? This is simply based off of money flow and money flow almost only. Now, obviously, you want to add other confluences to increase your win rate. But technically, for this technical strategy, you only need market cipher B, right? Simply put, looking at the 8-hour, I see that this VWAP is coming up into the green. Now, once you start getting experience at this, you'll start front-running this stuff, right? And you'll understand that, like, oh, VWAP's starting to come up. Let me check my lower time frame money flow. Is my 24-minute, why did it come out of bar replay mode? Like, why does that happen? Why me? Why me? So we'll come back here, right? That 8-hour green dot is about to print. So I'm coming down here and I'm saying, hey, what's that 24-minute money flow doing? Well, clearly it's trending up. I know at this point, right? Let's go back to the 8-hour. Please don't reset, okay? Right? We still see that green dot is about to print. Let's go back to, let's move forward a little bit. Let's move forward one candle, right? It's hard because we're on the 8-hour. So let me just go back a little bit. All right, come to the 5-hour, and we'll print one more candle, and it just brings us to the current price action. Or no, it doesn't. So anyway, 8-hour green dots printing. At this point, you're looking at the 24-minute money flow, and it's very hard to move forward on the 8-hour just because it jumps 8 hours, and it like kind of messes everything up. But once that green dot prints, if you see this money flow about to cross over into the green, my anticipation would be once that money flow crosses over into the green, that is likely what will start a bigger move to the upside, as long as we have that 8-hour green dot printing. And again, obviously we have it, right? And then if I move price forward a little bit, boom, right? We got a big green candle. Money flow's about to cross over on the 24-minute. 30-minute is also getting very close to crossing over. Back to the 8-hour. That green dot is now printing. This is where I think to myself, hey, this is probably where that move is going to start, right? Again, you're looking for that 24 and 30-minute money flow crossover. 30-minute crosses over right here, right? And I'll just move this to current price action, which I think is basically where we're at right now. But look at this move you could catch, right? Come on. There we go. 6% just based off that money flow strategy. So once you have that, again, the 8-hour and the 30-minute. That's one pair of time frames you can use this strategy for, right? My other favorite one is 4-hour, 15-minute. Same strategy, but just on those different time frames. 4-hour, 15-minute, 8-hour, 30-minute. There's many other pairs that you can do this with. And that's how I use it, right? And again, I did not invent this, but it works, right? I would not be showing you if it did not work. And it's like time and time again, I'm on these live streams and I'm like, look, money flow watch that money flow crossover, likely to start the move. And oftentimes when you backtest it, it's literally like that money flow crossover is where that breakout begins. And you don't need any advanced long-term education on trading. Like, as long as you understand what you're looking for on market cipher B, you're basically trading the green waves. You're trading the money flow, right? Now, again, I'm not saying that you don't want to understand price action or anything, but it's a really good beginner tip, right? And it's like very often, if you go back here and you mark out all your 8-hour green dots, right? Or let's say 8-hour green dots that gave you big moves to the upside, right? Like, let's look at this 8-hour green dot, right? Come back down to the 30-minute, right? I'm going to have to go back in time a bit to get that green dot, right? And well, where did that move start, right? That 8-hour green dot right here, right? 8-hour green dot is printing. You go down to the 30-minute time frame. You see money flow faking back out into the green. But you know, once this money flow crosses into the green, even on the 24-minute, you're trending up. You want to wait for that money flow crossover into the green. And then, boom, right here, you get the money flow crossover into the green. Play price forward. What do you think is going to happen after that money flow crossover? right? Obviously, we're going to get that. I mean, we know because it's bar replay mode, but like it doesn't matter if it's bar replay mode. You can backtest as many times as you want. It won't work 100% of the time, but more often than not, you will get some kind of a move to the upside, whether it's a small move like this and you're looking to capitalize on that, or if you're chasing the longer-term trend, which obviously wound up continuing to the upside. Right? So from that money flow crossover, you're up 8%, and then obviously you came up much higher. So just real quick sauce there on Market Cypher. If you guys want to sign up for Market Cypher and save some money, and again, I'm not saying this just because we have a discount code, but this is obviously something I use every single day on the channel. And if you watch, you know. So yeah, definitely go check that out. Shout out to CryptoFace and Market Cypher, and shout out to Crypto Anon. I got a text message from Anon today, and recently he got Market Cypher. I mean, how long ago? Anon, let me know how long ago you got Market Cypher. He literally texted me, right? He texted me a screenshot, which was I won't show his chart because I'm not sure if he wants that out there, but because his P&L, not his P&L, but his profit is on there. But he sent me a chart where he was very in the green on a trade, and he said, that's my BTC trade, and just closed out for X profit on ETH. Market Cypher has changed the game. And I said, let's go. No way. Heck yeah, dude. Market Cypher is goated. Money flow is really the first thing that changed the game for me. Keep crushing, dude. And he said, thanks, bro, whatever. And the conversation continued on, but the point is, Anon got Market Cypher, I think a month or two ago, and just is absolutely crushing, right? Oh, he said he didn't care. I think he was up like $1,200 or something on that trade, right? And it's just that light bulb moment that he had, like, oh my God, like this is changing the game for me. It's the exact feeling and the exact experience that I went through when I found Market Cypher and all the things that I use. So it's not like we don't just shill this stuff because it's Market Cypher. Like we shill this stuff because it works, right? I would not be promoting this if it didn't work, and more importantly, if I didn't actually use it, right? I think it would be very clear if I was like not actually using Market Cypher. It'd be more exhausting to fake using Market Cypher just to get signups, right? This is obviously a huge part of our analysis. So anyway, here with Polkadot, guys, very simply put, key level of resistance 864. I do think as long as you remain above your POC here at 641, it is going to be more likely than not, right? It would be possible to continue back up to that value area high. Now, technically, based off this macro volume profile, we lost the high, went to the POC. We are going to be expecting the value area low to come in very likely. But the reason I'm not really looking at that right now is because this large volume profile, right, from the bottom of the bear market is like, this is very macro. And I'll be honest, right? Like if we really are where we think we are in the cycle, it's not going to be likely to come all the way back down to the lows, in my opinion. So for that reason, this is the key level of support. As long as you're made above this POC, I do think you could see the value area high and potentially beyond. So those are the key levels. Other than that, everything else looks very similar to Bitcoin. Money flow headed in the right direction, not crossing over into the green, but headed in the right direction. 4-day green dot is confirmed. 5-day green dot, 6-day green dot, and the weekly. 6-day green dot printing, weekly green dot about to print. And I'll be honest with you, guys. There's your oversold anchor wave, and here's your little trigger wave. If you get that green dot on the weekly, could be the next thing we need for that big move to the upside. Where is Polkadot likely to go on that next big move to the upside? Very simply put, I'd be looking at this higher volume profile, and your next macro key level is 100% going to be this value area low. Let me just relabel this. Bada boom, right? This value area low is going to be your next key level, right? If you get the big breakout, right? I'm not expecting this tonight or tomorrow, but if that weekly green dot does give us our next leg up, that value area low at $14 is going to likely be that next larger target to the upside, right? And to be quite honest with you, right? Where's that higher low coming in at? It's coming in right on your golden pocket, right? So as long as we hold above that golden pocket, it could be just a continuation of the longer term trend, higher lows and higher highs. And then if you break down, obviously, this 786 value area low would be key. But there's nothing really saying that we're going to come down there right now, especially with that green dot on the weekly looking to print. So doesn't look too bad. Watch that value area high at 865. All right, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Hang on. Shout out to somebody said check super chats. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Shout out to Mike Vipiano. Shout out to you, brother, my paisan. He says, bought 300 Solana at 19 bucks. You think it's a good idea to roll that into Cardano now since it hasn't moved at all? Shout out to Mike. I can't tell you what would be a good idea to do with your money. I'm not a financial advisor, and if you move your money anywhere, you could lose it all. So just keep that in mind. But for me, I actually just recently bought a bunch of Solana. Here's the thing I would say. For longer-term bag holding, right? In my opinion, most people are better off buying and holding. Not buying and trying to buy and then trying to sell and then buy another dip and then try to sell. This is not my opinion. This is statistically almost everybody who does that, other than like a select small percentage, 90% of people who do that will wind up losing money, and it will be more worth it for them to just hold their long-term bags. Now, obviously, there is more reward to be had trying to sell the highs and buy back in at the lows. That is an obvious fact, right? But the problem is that it is not as easy as just selling high and buying low, right? If you've traded for more than any amount of time, you know that it's much easier said than done, right? So in my opinion, right, if you're doing good on a Solana investment, right, if I were doing really good on a Solana investment, it's really just like a personal decision. Do I want to take the safer route? And if I believe in Solana, I think Solana is going to go higher. Do I just hold this and ride this up higher? Or do I just go chasing the next coin? Because there's obviously a lot of money to be had there. But you have to understand, this does, right? This is not my opinion. This does come with a lot more risk, right? Not a little more risk, a lot more risk. Because then you get stuck in the game of a random dump, right? And then you're thinking like, oh man, maybe I should have waited to buy this. Let me sell it and buy it lower. And then it pumps. And then this is how you get stuck on the wrong side of ping pong, right? It's like at that point, a lot of times people will be like, oh, maybe I should just sell now and buy back lower. Oh no, now it's pumping. We are going to break out. Let me buy here. Oh no! Hey, wait, maybe I am. Oh, I sold too early. Let me sell and buy back lower. Oh wait, no. This is how you get stuck on that bad game of ping pong, right? So if you're not someone who is like experienced looking at the charts, or you're not someone who could spend a lot of time looking at the charts, in my opinion, it really depends, right? Like if you've made your bag on Solana, let's say you had a profit target of 100% on Solana, which if you bought at $19, you should be up on, right? If you've like smashed those goals and you want to take a small portion, if I wanted to take a small portion of those profits and then diversify my investments, right? I want to take some of that house money and then spread it off into other bets. That's a way to make money, right? But I do just want to point out that, that is a 100% a personal decision, right? Because if you're thinking in a long enough time horizon, like, is it a good idea to? So let's pull up Solana real quick, right? Take a look at Solana, right? So you're in at 19 bucks, right? So you're up. So you basically longed the bottom of this dip here, right? So let's say you just longed here, right? You're up 1,000%, right? So I can't tell you what to do, but for me personally, right? Like if I were up on Solana like this, which I am actually, I'm actually in at a very, very similar price. Now, again, is this your long-term bag? Is this a leverage trade? Which it seems like the way you explained it is a long-term bag. But if that is the case, right, that's really a personal decision. Like, is it a good idea? I mean, it's a good idea to sell this and buy Cardano if Cardano is going to pump. And in my own personal opinion, like, is Cardano going to pump, right? Like, probably, right? Like, I don't think there's anybody out there that doesn't think Cardano will at least see near its all-time highs again. So, yeah, I mean, like, it's hard to say. Is it a good idea? Yes. But if you buy Cardano tomorrow and then it dumps, right? For me, I wouldn't be scared by that, right? I would just buy more. But that might be horrible for you. You might be like, what the heck? I thought it was going to go up. It went down, right? So it's really like it's a loaded question, right? I can't say if it's a good idea or a bad idea. But in my opinion, right, it's not too late to buy Cardano. Like, I would not be buying Solana right now, right? Like Solana's up, right? So I'm like not buying Solana up here, right? But Cardano hasn't seen the same performance, which I think is what you're getting at. Is like Cardano hasn't seen that same performance. So yeah, like if I were in the situation you were in, maybe I would buy spread that money a little bit around. But again, this has so many other factors to that question. Like, do you have dry powder to buy Cardano? Because maybe you just want to hold on to like buy Cardano with your fresh powder. But if you have all your powder is invested, right? And maybe you want to sell some of your bags. And if you're way up on Solana, maybe it makes sense to take profit off that. I can't tell you that because I'm not a financial advisor. And I also am not a fortune teller. So, you could buy Cardano tomorrow and it can nuke back down to the lows. But these are decisions you have to make. But in my opinion, I think the thought process that you're thinking of is like Cardano hasn't launched as much as Solana has. So like maybe you want to pick up some cheap Cardano. I think Cardano's a great project. I think it will see higher prices, like extremely likely. But the question of where you get that capital from is another thing. So hopefully that helps you out. I know it's probably not the yes or no answer you were looking for, but hopefully that helps you out in some way, shape, or form. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue on here and take a look at. Let's take a look at Metis. And then we'll take a look at Sheeb. All right, let's see. Metis on. Not Metis, Medic. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Creighton C. Thank you for the super chat, bro. This is actually his first super chat. He said, Wheezy, the ETHs. He's calling me Wheezy. Shout out to Creighton. He says, the ETHs are ready to rumble. Soulmen had some jokes for a while. Kembro was all soul men come out and play in Discord, just like the classic film The Warriors. Also, what kind of pizza did you not get? What kind of pizza did I not get, meaning Creighton? It was grandma pizza. Shout out to Creighton. Shout out to you, bro. Yeah, Tony, I told you to send some pizza to Creighton. It seems like he didn't get it. I tried, Creighton. I tried, bro. I tried. And then he sent another super chat that said, "Is it a good idea to sell when near all-time highs and close to price and discovery?" Just curious, just a TA question. Shout out to Creighton. I'll give you guys this, right? So, like for Atom, right? Let's say this, right? Or actually Polkadot. We'll use Polkadot as an example, right? Because I own Polkadot, and this is like the most legitimate example I can say, right? For the most part, this is how I separate my trading. This is important, right? Because if you don't know how to separate your short-term trades from your long-term trades, your scalps from your days, for your scalp trades from your day trades from your swing trades from your long-term investments, things become messy, right? And it's hard to formulate a legitimate, sound trading plan for each scenario. So for me, right, I have bought a lot of altcoins in this low, right? I bought a lot of Polkadot down here, right? I bought a lot of Solana right here, and then it went to zero, and then I bought more, and then it went back up, right? So I don't know what my actual entry price is for Solana. It's somewhere down here, but I bought a lot of my Solana all down here, right, before the big pumps, right? Now everybody else comes in and they buy up on the pumps, which is that a good strategy? Maybe not as good as buying the bottom, but whatever. So I bought a lot of my Solana down here. I bought a lot of my Cardano down here. Right? I bought a lot of Scale down here and some up here as well. I bought a lot of Atom all throughout here. Right? So what does this mean? To me, for these positions, these are my long-term bags. These are coins that I'm buying that I would be willing to put into a hardware wallet and hold for at least a year. I buy this and I don't care if it dumps the next day. I simply deploy more capital. Right? So for this, when I talk about buying the dip or investing in a project, I am simply looking to buy the lows. And for example, like shout out to Creighton C. This actually led to a pretty good question. If I bought down here, to give you guys an idea, you guys probably think that like once we get up here, I'm selling and then waiting for the pullback and then buying in again and then selling on the pullback and then buying back in and then selling and just cashing in on every move. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if people think this because this is what we talk about on this channel most of the time. But when I'm talking about, buying the dip here or opening a new long here, this is for my leverage trades, right? My shorter term trades, even my swing trades. My swing leverage trades are not being held anywhere near as long as my long-term bags. My long-term bags are with this context. Buy, right? And hold and wait. Not take any profits. Oh, man, but I could have taken profit here and then bought back lower. Do not get caught in that game. Please, for the love of God, I beg you, do not get caught in that game. That game will lose you more money than it makes you, unless you are a professional, experienced, already profitable trader. right? Now, would I have a decent time doing this? Yes, and I do it every single day, but I just don't do it with my long-term bags, right? I will day trade, and I'll even swing trade on spot sometimes, but for the most part, when I talk about buying altcoins, I am talking about buying them and then forgetting they exist. Whether Cosmos, right? Whether Atom goes up to here and then makes a new low and then comes back up and then rejects its all-time, like I don't care about any of that. I am buying these for the long term, for the next year and a half, right? I am buying this, and until we're in 2025, I am not even paying attention to this bag. It's just something I own and something I am accumulating, right? Because if you go back in time, look at these older scenarios, right? Like if we are in a point in the market that is something like this, it is buy, and then you could try to sell. Like I always say this, your missed gains are none of your business, right? And a lot of people get caught in the game, right? Like, oh man, I could have sold here and then bought back lower. And then they see dollar signs and they're like, oh, I'll just get rich and I'll do that. That's easy. I'll just hit the buttons. It's easy. It's not like that, right? Trust me, it's not. So if you're getting caught in that case of like, oh, should I sell here and buy back lower, which is not, I forget who asked it, but that's not what the super chat was saying, right? The super chat was saying, should I roll it into another project? That's a different question. But for this, buying and holding at least until 2025, unless something crazy changes, right? Like I am not paying attention to this. I don't care if it dumps. I don't care if it pumps. I don't care if it pumps and then dumps. I don't care if I could have sold up here and then bought back down lower and then sold up here and then bought back down lower. I do that every day with my leverage trades and my shorter term trades. So yes. Shout out to Demos. Are you still holding COQ Inu? Yes, I am. I have not sold any of that. I'm holding that. Again, this is I think that is a longer term play for me, right? Like if COQ plays out well in the next bull run, I'm making a ton of money, right? If it goes to zero, it was a lost bet. It's a meme coin. I'm not super concerned about it, but it is a longer term play. I still hold it. I plan on seeing what the AVAX meme coins do in 2025 and beyond, or going into the rest of this year and beyond. Let's see when Bitcoin's really hitting those all-time highs, what the meme coins are doing, right? So that's a longer term play for me. But buying things like Cosmos, Cardano, Atom, Polkadot, Scale, Link, all this stuff is I am buying the lows and holding these long term. Right? Not trying to sell the tops and buy the dips, right? I do that on my day trades and my leverage trades, right? The two separate things. You can do it, but separate it from your long-term investments. I could lock this into a hardware wallet, lock it in a safety deposit box, and not have to have instant access to it. I don't care if price is dumping. I'm not going, where's my ledger? I got to sell all my stuff, right? Like this is not how it works, right? This is not how I function. Great. To be honest with you, if you have a ledger, it could be a good way, just buy it, buy your crypto, put it on your ledger. And to be honest with you, keeping it on that ledger and like having that separation and that extra step to sell your stuff is probably going to save you money. Because if you want to like run to the bank to get your, ledger out of your safety deposit box or wherever you keep it, right? If you're doing that, chances are like you shouldn't even have access to it, right? Like you should just be like, you're probably selling at the wrong time. You're probably getting manipulated. And like anytime you feel anxiety to sell your bags, oh my God, price is dumping, I got to sell all my stuff. It's probably the wrong move. Even though it feels like the right move, you're going to get wrecked. And that ledger being that extra separation can actually save you a lot of money panic selling. And I don't say this because I never panic sell and I'm the best, right? I'm saying this because I have panic sold probably worse than anybody else in the past. And I wish I had a ledger to separate me from it, right? But instead, I just logged on to Coinbase and just sold all my stuff, and then it went back up, and then you buy it back at a loss, right? Like I've done this stuff. This is why I think I resonate with a lot of people, and I'm able to teach so well, is because like I've just simply been through every problem and every single thing that anybody going through their journey of crypto can ever go through, right? And I've done it to a fault, right? Like worse than most people. So for the answer of long-term bags, like me, I'm buying down here, and I am just waiting for long term, right? Like if the chart looked like this, that's 539 days. I don't care that we dumped here. I don't care that we pumped here, dumped here, pumped here, dumped here, right? I am waiting for all-time highs on a lot of this stuff. So there you go. Keep that in mind. And again, you could play the game of, oh, I could have sold here and bought back lower, right? Like I think people do that, and they think that they can make money. Like, just because you can look back and say, oh, I could have sold here and bought here, I would have made a ton of money, I should do that next time. That's not how it works. Trust me. And like, that's none of your business, right? Like, it doesn't matter that you could have sold. Like, it's in the past. It already happened. That's not like, in order to make the money, you have to make the decisions while it's happening, right? So it's obviously very, very easy to do it in hindsight. And I think a lot of people make the mistake of looking in hindsight and thinking it's super easy, and then they try it, and then they realize it's super hard, and they lose a bunch of money. So like, this is none of your business. If you go up here and then dump, that's none of your business that you could have sold and bought back here, right? I always say that. Like, even on trades, like if you say like, oh man, we came down to my key level, I should have longed it, I would have made so much money. Don't get into that habit, because that habit will simply eat away any good psychology you have, right? It's like, oh man, I could have won the lottery if I guessed the numbers correctly last week and won the lottery, right? Like it's so easy to go in hindsight. Like, oh man, if I picked 7, 8, 14, 62, 43 on the numbers last week, I would have won the lottery, right? But like, that's none of my business, right? It's very easy to say that in hindsight, and it's very similar with crypto, or just trading anything. So there we go. Shout out to Iqbal says, well, I say thank you for the super chat. He said, how can we find all-time high? Shout out to Iqbal. I don't know exactly what you mean by that. But if you can, I appreciate the super chat. If you could just send a free chat and try to clarify that, I would, I would potentially, I would like to answer you. How do you find all-time highs? Do you mean just like, do you mean like, how do you look for where new all-time highs may be? Because that's a very loaded question as well, right? There's no magic, thing that is going to be able to tell you like, okay, beep, beep, boop, type in this calculation. Okay, the all-time high will be this, right? It's very, very hard. What I like to do to calculate potential all-time highs is I use a mixture, at least on Bitcoin, which obviously is starting to push back up here. Let's go, baby. Push. Let's pull up that trade real quick. Pull up the trade. How we doing? How you doing? There we go. 5,400 up 134%. Let's go, baby. Push it, Bitcoin. Let's go. And there we go. Keep pushing. About to hit that value area high to $1. Let's see here. Come on, baby. 70. Let's go. Do not fade the volume profiles, guys. Do not fade the volume profiles. Let's go. Probably should take profit on this long at some point. Hopefully this keeps pumping through the rest of the stream. But yeah, Iqbal, let me know. Oh, he says, as you said, sell on all-time high, then what is your strategy to sell off? Yeah, shout out to Iqbal. So for me, right, for Bitcoin at least, let me go ahead and pull up. Let me see. Bada boom. Okay, so, oh wait, no, that's not what I want to look at. Where is, hold up. Bear with me. But typically, Iqbal, what I like to do is I like to use a combination of spider lines, which I do have tutorials on the channel on how to draw these. I do like to use spider lines as well as Fibonacci extension levels to find my next target. So for example, this is a chart that I've shown many times for my next targets on Bitcoin, right? If we break above this purple box, my next big level I'd be looking at is around $81,000, right? Two beautiful spider lines flying through these two Fibonacci extension levels. So $81,000, right? You have this fib level, and then these two spider lines running across. Now, this would be a way that I would try to anticipate future resistance without being able to look to the left, right? Because we don't have price action to look to the left up at 80K to find actual resistance, right? So we have to use things like trend lines, which is essentially spider lines are a form of trend line, and Fibonacci extension levels to find those levels that you can't find with previous price action, right? So this is what I like to use as far as like speculative targets for Bitcoin, and then you can see even here. I don't have everything on right now, but you have two more spider lines running up here in the $100,000 area, right? This would be another big place to look at. But again, right, these levels trend up over time, right? So the longer that price takes to get up there, the higher those levels become, right? This is sitting at, this is like super high. But, if we yeet up to this level super quickly, right, that's 109,000, right? But if we take a little bit longer to get up there, right, now that level becomes 113,000, right? So that it trends up over time. But this is typically how I like to find the future all-time highs. But I want to be very clear. This doesn't mean that like this is the next spot Bitcoin is going, right? There's no way to just like see a line on the chart and be like, that's the next all-time high. There might be people out there that say that that's the case, but it's not. It's not how it works, right? Unfortunately, I wish it was. Trust me, if it was, I probably wouldn't be doing this right now because I would just there would be nothing to teach, right? Everyone would just use that thing. But this is the technique I like to use. So Fibonacci extensions as well as spider lines. These are both things I have tutorials for on the channel for totally free. Iqbal, if you want to learn, you can check out those videos on the channel. And there you go. Spider lines tutorial right there. Drop for you, Iqbal, if you want to take a look at those. But again, right, like even if we get above 100K, right, or above 80, 85K, next spider line is sitting up here at like 120, right? And then we got another one up here at about 127. And then you got a big jump up to this next one at 185. So, I don't know if we're going to get all the way up there, potentially. But that's kind of how I, my high-end prediction for Bitcoin would be in like the 200s, depending on, what price action looks like when we get up there. So yeah, there you go. That is how I would be looking at it, right? So, again, your take profit strategy might be like, hey, once we get to 85K, I take a little bit of profit. Once I get to 100K, I'll take a little bit of profit, right? Once I get to 120K, wherever your levels are, that might be where you want to shave off 20%, 30%, etc. But these are all exit strategies that are going to be based off your own risk tolerance. And not only that, also based off your entry, right? So for me, I was buying Bitcoin, shout out to the CandleMafia, as we've been talking about since I started the channel. What we used for our big signal to DCA into Bitcoin long-term was the weekly money flow being in the red. So most of my buys are down here. So you might be thinking to yourself, well, Frankie, how are you're going to be taking profit at 100K? Like we're like almost there. Like that's not that big of a gain. But the problem is, right, I was buying all the way down here, right? Most people are buying in now, right? So it's for them, this is why most people get wrecked in any market, right? Not just crypto. Like people don't want to buy until you get up to these higher prices. And then they get like it's still a big move, especially compared to traditional assets, right? If you're going to move to 100K, it's only like 37% from where we are right now. But you have to understand the smart money. I'm not calling myself smart money. I'm just saying like the institutions and the, like not even the smart money, but also the people who know what they're doing. They were buying the fear. They're not buying up here typically, right? So when we get to 100K, there might be like a decent amount of profit taking place, right? But the people who bought up here are just going to feel like they keep getting wrecked. But the truth is, they're just buying in really late. So yeah, like my first TP, maybe I take a little bit of profit at 100, 120K. And that might not seem too far away, but it is extremely far away from my average entry, right? I'm up almost 400% on my investment. And understand that my Bitcoin investment has a way higher dollar amount, right? It's a way higher dollar, 71K, baby, let's go. A much higher dollar amount for Bitcoin, right? I feel safer with Bitcoin, right? So I put a higher dollar amount, right? So if I get a 4X on a large part of my money, I'm not that, that's pretty good for me, right? I'm not looking for that 100X on a meme coin. For example, these are not the actual numbers, but like, let's say I put $100,000 into Bitcoin. I'm putting like $100 into meme coins, right? Like $500 into meme coins, maybe. And that's spreading far and wide, expecting those to go to zero. So there we go. So here we are, guys. I did not think that we were going to hit our next target so soon, which literally at the beginning of the stream here, we were talking about getting a move above that value area high. Next key level being that the daily naked point of control at $70,099. Let me come up to the actual live stream chart here. Bada boom, bada bing. Oh, yeah, here we go. These are actually the levels we were looking at. So daily level coming really close to coming in at 71,678. This is my next technical target. I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong chart here. But yeah, this daily 71,678 could be the next target. Daily naked point of control 72,591. And shout out to the premium Discord. Like when you're looking for higher prices, there's no reason to close those longs. Let's go. And this is proving it, right? So yeah. I mean, not too much in the way of that all-time high, but just be careful here, guys, because here's the thing, right? You get back up to these all-time highs, could be potentially swing failure city, right? Might get a swing failure before a correction, right? Doesn't mean that we're not going to keep going up, right? But you got to be aware. Just because we're pumping, and there you go, cannot make it up. Beautiful little tap on our level. Let's go. Look at that. To the dollar. To the dollar. Come on, baby. Shout out to the daily horizontals. Bada boom. Let's pull up that trade one more time. Let's eye it up here. Bada boom. No, that's not it. Where is it? Bada boom. There we go. Now we are up. Oh, I thought that said 6,800. I was like, that is a little bit more than I would have thought. But there we go. Just continuing. That up 1,000 just on this live stream. Let's go. But there you go. Beautiful, nice little tap on that daily horizontal. Almost said naked point of control. But that is basically, I mean, there we go. Right? Just wait, consistently seeing these levels get hit. Unbelievable. Let's see. Bada boom. Shout out to Wix Wi-Fi 580 fine 89. Let's see. Shout out to Creighton C said, how is Femex charging me $2K in fees in one day? Shout out to Creighton C. That does not sound right to me. Interesting. Is that right? Is that actually happening to you, Creighton? Shout out to Creighton C. But there we go, guys. This is Alexandra G in the chat. What is going on? Yo, let's go. Shout out to Mark Dutch. Going on right now. Interesting. That is, 2K in fees is crazy. I don't think I've ever been charged 2K in fees. Like, even on my bigger positions. Like I could pay a lot in fees on my bigger positions, right? Like, if I make 15K and I pay 1,000 or 1,500 in a fee, like, I'm not really worried about it, right? Like, I see, to be honest with you guys, I see the trading fees as a cost of doing business, right? Like, if I were paying $1,000 in fees on a trade that I was up $100 on, that's like one thing, right? Like, that's crazy. But yeah, interesting. Creighton, you don't have to disclose this, but I would be interested in the again, you don't have to say it, but I'm just saying, like, considering your position size, like, are you up like 15K today, and then you're getting charged 2K? Because, like, in that case, it's like, hey, whatever, right? Like, it just printed $15,000 today. I don't mind paying the $2,000. But yeah, that is interesting. All right, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. 71 and ripping, baby. Let's go. Can we hit our second target here before the end of the live stream? Daily naked point of control at 72,591. Can we hit it? I don't know. I feel like it'd be unlikely to hit two major targets by the end of the live stream. By the way, we do have. Oh my God, we're running out of time here. Let's see. Shout out to Creighton. C said no comment. Shout out to Creighton. No problem. All right, let's see. Yeah, I mean, hey, and remember, guys, why were we, right? Why do we look for higher prices, right? Why was I looking to hold my long from the low here, right? Why was I not looking to close more at the POC, right? Money flow is everything, right? Money flow indicates a longer-term trend, and very interesting here. Will this be the fake out into the green on money flow? We talked about this for so long. Guys, are we going to get the fake out? Are we going to get the fake out? This would be a likely place in the market to get a fake out on money flow. Will it play out? I will say this, guys. If this money flow fake out happens and we start ripping, I will say I will get a money flow wave tattooed on my forehead if that is the case. Unbelievable. Shout out to Market Cypher's money flow. But let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Wick says moon pies. Yeah, let's give Link some gas too. Okay, so we are obviously not going to get to all of the altcoins today, but I will take a look at ABT. We'll take a look at ABT real quick. And just to remind everybody, right, just because, right, I want to be clear here. Obviously, we anticipated higher prices. We got them, right, for very specific reasons, again, that we went over throughout the whole live stream: market structure, money flow, everything, right? And actually, another less talked about signal that I will talk about more. Smart trail on the daily. This was key resistance. This smart trail on the daily just flipped bullish. This could be a good sign. So yeah, just keep that in mind. But I also don't want this to cloud anybody's judgment, right? I want to be clear. I want to be as honest as possible on this live stream and just on this channel in general. Just because we got this big move up does not mean that we cannot pull back, right? So, again, just like before, if I get bearish confirmations at the high here, which I have not gotten yet, which is why I did not take the short within this purple box, which wound up being a good decision because there was no trade to take, so I didn't take it. And what happened? We continued up. We would have gotten wrecked on that trade. That's why I only take trades that have confirmation, right? Like a lot of people just like, resistance short, support long. We need confirmation. But I want to be clear here. Like, if we get bearish confirmations up here to take a short, I will take a short, right? And tomorrow we could come on the live stream and we might be up on a short. And then I just know that causes a lot of confusion for people because they were like, what happened? We were bullish yesterday, but now we're coming down. And we'll be making money on the way down, but just because we're pumping here does not mean up in a straight line forever, right? So just be aware of that. So I will be looking for shorts up here, and to be honest, I am kind of on the hunt, not just hunting for a trade, but I am on the look for a setup to go short because I am no longer in any short positions. I am only long now. So if we do wind up dumping out of nowhere, which is possible, right? Just because we have the market structure and all this stuff that looks bullish doesn't mean we have to continue up. So I will be looking for short entries to hedge my position, right? That's just what I do every time I see a big move, right? Anytime I'm heavily hedged on one end of the market, long or short, I always am looking for a way to reduce my risk in case of a move in the opposite direction. So just keep that in mind, right? And again, we are at resistance. We're at a value area high. If we break out here, this would technically be a deviation into some pretty key resistance. So it's not going to be impossible to get a pullback, right? But again, as long as market structure remains bullish, we are going to look for higher lows and continuations up. But this might be the case in the short term. So just keep that in mind. And then if it winds up being and then here's the whole gist of it, right? This is kind of like the whole backbone of my trading strategy and how I'm able to make money over time, right? And remain profitable. If we take that short and it starts really dumping and this market structure breaks, which can happen, and this it looks like we're going to go bullish and we're not, and we just flip bearish completely, I will get stopped out of my long position, which again was taken from down here. I will simply, now again, I have not taken profit yet, but I will take some profit here and manage this position throughout the night. But once that happens, my stop loss goes into profit, or at least to break even. And then as price comes down, let's see, we get into a short position here, just to be very clear, right? This is kind of how we cheat, right? This is literally cheating. So we catch a short position up there. I'm taking this with the thought process that it would be a lackluster pullback to put in a higher low and continue up because the market structure is bullish, because money flow is coming into the green on the higher time frames, because of the weekly green dot. The higher time frames are starting to look like they want to turn around. But we don't know that that's a guarantee. So if price starts coming down, again, the original context would be like, hey, I'm not looking to go to zero. I'm looking to put in a higher low and continue up. But I can capitalize on that little pullback, right? So I can make money tomorrow too. If tomorrow's a red day and we pull back before going up, I can at least make a little extra money tomorrow while I'm waiting for that longer term position to play out. But if price just continues to nuke down and we start breaking structure, I will likely be able to hold a portion of this trade for longer, right? I could take profit, move my stop loss to break even or into profit, and then if that continues down, I will get stopped out of my long in profit right here. Not the exact level that I'm looking at, but it would be somewhere in profit. I'll get stopped out, make money on this long, and then the short will continue to pay me out, right? This is kind of how we continue. We get a continuous conveyor belt of money coming out of the market, right? I'm not saying we don't ever get stopped out at a loss. We do. But again, this is how I like to handle my positions and how I hedge myself to make money whether the price goes up or down, right? Because right now, I'm just praying it goes up. A lot of times I come up here and I say, guys, I'm in a good position here. I don't care if we pump or dump. I'm in a long and a short. They're both in profit. One's going to get stopped out in profit. The other one will pay me out. This is oftentimes the situation that I'm in. But right now, I'm long and long only, right? So I need to see if there's a reason to hedge short here. So I will be watching that very closely tonight. Not impossible to come down. So it's just never, just because the market structure is bullish, right? I could say I'm expecting higher prices based off market structure, money flow, all that stuff. But just understand, no matter, even just not even just me, anyone who says anything like that is not just gonna it's not guaranteed because they say it, right? This could just break structure for no reason and come down for who God knows why. So just understand that just because I'm saying I'm expecting higher prices doesn't guarantee it comes in, right? We've been wrong before, and we will be wrong again, right? It's just the fact of the matter. Trading is a game of probabilities and statistics, right? So there you go. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue on here. Everything is possible. Yes, absolutely. That's the hardest part about trading is because everybody wants the yes or no, up or down. Long my net worth or short my net worth. Tell me right now I want to get rich before tomorrow. I want to quit my job. But it's just these people are chasing something that does not exist. But making consistent money from trading is 100% a possibility. I don't remember exactly my entry date on this trade, but the amount of time and the amount of effort and the amount of physical labor that it takes to make $6,000 is absolutely almost nothing compared to what I used to have to do for $6,000, right? I used to have to work for a whole month to make $6,000. Now I make it in a few days on a trade, right? Sometimes a few weeks, sometimes a couple days. Sometimes it's much more than this in a much shorter period of time. Sometimes it's not as much in a longer period of time. But there is light at the end of the tunnel if you want to make money doing this, right? I promise you, I'm an example of it, right? I'm not like a super math whiz. I'm not an algorithm wizard. Wasn't an AP advanced algebra. I'm not a programmer. I think a lot of people get a weird feeling about trading because it's very technical, but I try to break it down as simply as possible for you guys and show you that this is possible to make this money without breaking your back for a mean boss, right? And if you like your job, you like your boss, that's awesome. That's great. You should continue doing that. But if I know there's a lot of people out there that want something different for their life, and they don't want to go to a job every day, it's just not their thing, right? And they want to be a trader, and they have the willpower, they have the discipline, they have the drive to try something that is extremely hard, that could be extremely rewarding at the end of the day. This will be one of the hardest things you ever do. But if you stick through it and you make it through to the other end, it is the most rewarding thing. You can make money from anywhere in the world. In the world, not like anywhere in the US, anywhere in the world, right? And literally anywhere, sitting on a plane, sitting on at a kitchen table. Now I'm not going to sit here and sell you and tell you that you could just lay on a beach, hit buy and sell, and make $1 million while you're drinking margaritas. That's not the case. Never will be. It's not the thing unless AI takes over, right? That's not how it works. But you can do it while you travel. You can do it at your house. You can do it on a laptop at the park if you wanted to. I generally like to sit at my desk and focus. But it is one of the most rewarding things you could possibly do. And when you start seeing numbers pop up on your screen that you used to make in a month, and they're popping up in a day, and they're popping up in a week, right? Recently, I don't share a lot of personal accounts or anything like that, but I've recently made more. Personally, this is like a milestone for me. I made more that I used to make in a year in a month, and it's crazy. There's light at the end of the tunnel, guys. I promise you there is. But it's nothing is as easy as you think it is. So anyway, with that being said, let's see if we can get this move up to these next targets. Again, that daily naked point of control at 72,591 is the next target after we tap that daily, which we did. And then the all-time high is the next level right after that. Can we crack it and see new all-time highs potentially? But again, in the short term, just be careful, right? Go back to the beginning of the stream. We talked about the possibility of deviating above here, getting a pullback. So yeah. Chances are, if we pull back here, I may be in a short tomorrow, but it doesn't mean that my long is closed, right? It's just kind of like making money in the meantime, but while we wait for price to come further to the upside. So with all that being said, guys, I apologize. We didn't get to take a look at all of the altcoins, but Bitcoin gave us the move midstream here, and we did spend a little bit of extra time on Ethereum, as that was kind of the first thing to give us the move up. So shout out to you guys. And let's see, bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. I can earn 1,000 in a month, Frankie. Shout out to Wick589. Wick, you can earn $1,000 in a day. I can promise you that. It's probably a lot more attainable than you think it is. Trust me. There was a time where I didn't think I would ever see above a $30 profit on my account because I had no money to trade with when I first started. And now, this is like, to be honest with you guys, this isn't a gigantic trade for me. And again, I don't remember the exact, we could do this, hang on. We could actually do this. I could find the actual setup in the premium of when we looked to go long. It's going to be hard to remember. Is this the... Let's see. Yeah, I believe this was the setup right here. Yeah, about 62.5. Hang on. Yeah, so it's 62K. Yeah, this was the trade setup from the premium. 15-minute money flow crossover was the start of that position. But anyway, I believe this was the setup. It's kind of hard to go back that far and figure it out without actually spending time. But yeah, so when was this post? This was May 9th. So yeah, about 10 days ago. So 10 days ago, $6,000. I mean, if I were to close the position in full, right? Like there's a chance that this could go down to zero and I make nothing on this trade until it's all realized. But $6,000 in 10 days, right? And this is, just to be clear, right? Like this is like a longer term, smaller trade compared to some of the other stuff that we're doing, right? So like this is like, this is attainable. This is really like not even anything fancy, right? And this took 10 days. And a lot of times, like, you're just, a slave to the market, right? Like, it's going to take time for it to move. But sometimes you get into a trade and it moves right away and you can make, this or more in a day. Now, it's not going to happen right at first, right? I wasn't making this in my first 6 months, year trading, right? Like, this takes time to develop up to this point. But it's possible, right? It's definitely possible. I am proof of it. So there you go. Just full transparency. I like to be as transparent as possible. So with all that being said, guys, I think that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. I appreciate every single one of you guys for sticking around till the end of the stream. Beautiful, beautiful moves on Bitcoin. Seeing that target get hit live, expecting those higher prices and seeing them come up during the live stream. Super fun to happen, while we're live. Typically, we don't see the moves while we're live. It usually waits for me to walk away and then moves. So super exciting. Shout out to Genesis. Thank you for that last minute super chat. Genesis says, the biggest question is, how do most of the traders get the capital to trade with in the first place? Can you share what your strategy for it was? Genesis, I assume you mean, like, how did I get money to start trading with? I love that question. There's no right answer. There's a million different ways, right? Here's the answer that is going to be the most helpful. It is literally going to be the last thing that anybody in here wants to hear, right? But I'm going to say it because it's going to benefit you. Make quitting your job the last thing you do. A lot of people go, and there are two sides to this, and I do genuinely believe in both of them. But I think a lot of people rush into, like, I'm going to quit my job. Yeah, in my opinion, for trading specifically, this is the worst thing you can do. A lot of people will be like, I'm going to quit my job and put myself in the position to do nothing but succeed. I'm going to force myself to succeed it's like burn the boats, right? Quit your job and give yourself no option but to succeed, and no option but to work as hard as you need to work to succeed. And this could be, you can argue this is a good idea for certain businesses, not for trading. Trading is not a quit your job, burn the boats, and figure it out situation. I hate to say that, but it really isn't. This is going to do absolutely nothing but hurt your trading journey. I would make quitting your job the last thing. So for me, I was always an entrepreneurial kind of person, right? I've had full-time jobs. I've run businesses. I've had businesses fail. I've had semi-success with businesses. I've had a lot of success with certain businesses. Shout out to Frankie Candles. But just in general, right? I've been in and out of different types of businesses, and I've worked 9 to 5s. And quitting your job, right? For me, it was the other businesses that I ran, right? I've talked about this a lot. I've done Amazon FBA. I've done drop shipping. I've done everything in the book, right? Anything that could get you rich quick, right? I've tried. I've fallen for every scam. I've tried everything. I found good stuff. I found bad stuff. And but for me, my trading capital came from two major places, right? My other businesses and any full-time job or day job that I had during the time, right? So I was working actively to gather money to put into my trading account, and then losing it, and then working again, and then putting money into the account, and then losing it, and then working again and making the money and putting it in the account, and then losing it. And then making a little bit of money and then losing it again, right? And for me, some people's journeys are longer than others. Some are shorter. But for me, it was my day jobs or my other businesses that were bringing in money that allowed me to trade with, right? And you could just set a saving goal, right? I want to save $100 a week. I want to save $100 a month, and I want to put that towards my trading account, right? But the second you quit that job, here's the thing. If you quit your job and you burn the boats to go be a full-time trader, this is going to destroy your trading mentality, because now the whole point of trading is to get in the position, set your stop loss, set your take profit, or at least have a solid trading plan and execute on the plan regardless, right? But once you put the stress of having to pay your rent on trading, especially in the beginning, right? If you put the stress of paying your rent, the bills, buying your this, buying that, right? Paying for stuff that you need. And once you put that on your trading journey, your psychology goes out the window, because now you're taking that trade with fear already in your head, right? You're already taking that trade and you're like, I got to win this trade. And if I get stopped out, I can't lose this money because then I can't pay rent. This is the worst decision I think anybody can make. I think the better thing is to have consistent income and keep your day job, because you have to be able to detach from the money a little bit. look at it as video game money. Look at it as points, right? This is some of the best advice I've gotten. You have to look at money as a number on a screen. And especially with trading, you have to detach from the emotion of money, right? And if you're like, oh my God, it makes sense, right? If you're like, oh my God, I pay the rent, I got to win this trade. You are not going to be able to handle that trade, and you're probably going to lose your money, and you're not going to be able to pay rent, and then it's going to be bad, right? So the idea here is to take as much emotion out of your trading as you possibly can, especially in the beginning when you're developing your like beginner mindset, right? Like just in the beginning, you're just like a baby trader brain, right? You're very impressionable, and the mistakes you make are going to hit very hard in the beginning, and the wins that you get are going to hit you very hard in the beginning. And that is the most important time to not let those emotions get in your head. And if you keep your day job and you blow up an account, cool. You're fine, right? You just lost a video game, right? And as long as you're putting a reasonable amount of money in your trading account, you're not blowing up your life savings. And like just, say you're trading with like $100, if you make $1,000 a week, right? Let's say on average, $500 to $1,000 a week, you put $100 a week away, you put $400 a month in your trading account, and then you blow that $400, right? You're fine, right? You still have most of your money from working your job, right? So like the idea is to invest spare money that you can afford to lose into your trading account that you are likely to lose in the beginning. This is very important to understand, because if you think you're going to go into this and get rich immediately, you're going to get discouraged immediately, and you are never going to follow through, right? But understand, this is 100% attainable. I was in this position, and now we sit here, and like I used to have to work a month for that, right? And now it's like one of the small trades that I'm in, and it's like, cool, it's additional money, right? It is possible, but it is not easy. And that should be good, right? Because nothing that is worthwhile is easy. So there you go. Hopefully that helps you out. Do not quit your day job. And to be honest, like the best thing is to keep your day job, right? Blow the money. And then it's cool. Oh, I blew up my account, but it's like, whatever. I lost a video game. At least I could still feed my kids and pay my rent. And more importantly, when you're in the trade, you won't have that weight of all those responsibilities on your shoulders. Another business, sure, maybe maybe it's good to burn the boats. I kind of did that, and it worked out. But not for trading. Not for trading, please, for the love of God. Please make your trading in the beginning just disposable income. Treat it like the money's going out the window as soon as it goes. Like you're paying tuition. I'm going to put $100 into my Femex account, right? And also like the links, if you use our links, a lot of the deals will give you bonus money, right? So like a lot of our, I don't know if we have any running deals at the moment. I think there might be one with Blowfin. Link in the description down below. Tony could drop the link if he can. That'd be wonderful. But a lot of these exchanges will, if you sign up with our links, will give you $100 in trading bonuses, right? Meaning money they give you that you can trade with. You can't just immediately withdraw the money, but you can use that as like $100 of free trading practice, right? Because if you lose the money, you don't have to give it back to them. But if you make profit on it, you can keep the profit. You just can't keep the original $100, right? So it's like they're giving like $100 voucher to like get your feet wet. So that's like another thing. I don't know exactly. I don't know the exact deals we have on at the moment. But if you could scroll through them, like find which one works for you. If they give you a trading bonus, like even if you don't use our link, I think a lot of them will give you trading bonuses potentially. So yeah, it's you want to make it as stress-free as possible, right? Because you're thinking like, I'm going to put this $100 into the account and I'm probably just going to give it to the market, but I'm not getting nothing in return. I'm getting a lesson in return. If you put the $100 in and you use 100x leverage and you get liquidated instantly, you paid $100 to learn the lesson of not using high leverage. Does that make sense? But understand that it is a small elite. I don't even consider myself in this, but it's a small elite group of people who will actually have the drive to go through this stuff. Everybody wants the reward without the work. And I would love to come up here and tell everybody they could get rich overnight trading. This would be very good for the YouTube channel. This would be very good for our business, but it's not the truth. My goal is to actually help you make money, not come up here and talk a bunch of BS, right? I'm here to be real with you guys and tell you the truth. Don't quit your job to start trading. Quit your job to start an Amazon FBA business? That worked for me. Well, not really, right? It wasn't amazing. It was very hard, and I didn't make a lot of money, but I was profitable. But anyway, with that being said, hopefully that helps you guys out there. Just understand this is attainable, right? It doesn't take 25 years to do, right? But there is light at the end of the tunnel. But just understand, you got to do some hard stuff. What's the saying? Happiness is on the other side of fear, or something like that. It's like the truest thing ever, right? So there you go. Take that for what it's worth, Mafia. I got to get out of here. Hopefully Bitcoin can keep pumping. I will be looking for those shorts at the high of the range. But with all that being said, see if we can crack that $72,591 level on Bitcoin. That's all I got. Bitcoin to the moon. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it, now I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen and we not a minute late. Seen him down bad, now they tryna hate. Same ones try to hit me for the raise. Got a mill, now they coming with a blaze. Check the numbers, fam, I swear I'm getting paid. I'm a Don just like the Perrier. It's one time when I'm looking at a face. On the low like I'm pushing up the bass. Told him come down and I'll meet him at a gate. Got a check and I bought myself a place. They get some money and they blow it on bait. I don't flex but I'm pushing all the weight. Told them all I swear I got it's what it takes. Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it, now I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen and we not a minute late.
Shout out to Creighton C. Thank you for the super chat, bro. And shout out to Creighton. He says, 100, boss. Also, if you aren't in the premium, talking about the premium Discord, or the kitchen, as I like to call it, he says, and you are new and maybe struggling, consider it. It's worth the sauce. Frankie does 2 Q&A and TA teaching streams, daily trade setups, and Darren Does Things is in there to help, and it helps. Shout out to Creighton C. Yeah, if you guys are looking to take your trading to the next level, just understand there is there is some form of knowledge that you need, but if you guys are looking to take your trading to the next level, check out the premium Discord. Yeah, it's we get great reviews, and I do think getting into a tight-knit community and being able to have access to me in those streams for Q&A and like just straight education is extremely, extremely valuable. And I see the light bulbs go off in people's heads every single day. So go ahead and check that out if you guys are interested. And shout out to Creighton said we trade hard so we can party hard, as of what I think that says. Absolutely. Shout out to Creighton. But with all that being said, guys, that's all the time I got. Links in the description down below for anything we use and any deals you guys are looking for. Check out FrankieCandlesTrading.com, where we also have these fire hats. I don't know why I turned this into like an infomercial at the end, but just figured I'd trail off of Creighton. But anyway, shout out to you guys. Thank you all for the super chats. I appreciate you guys endlessly, and I will continue to come up here and go live every single day to help you guys find profitability, trading Bitcoin, and finding financial freedom to trade this thing, whether the price is going up or down. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong. Oh no. Oh no. Come on, Stream Deck. You got this. Bing bong.
Here we go. At the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the roll, here we go, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey. top of the class on a roll, hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah, maxed out, put the